Don't think what,
No
Kieran?
one wants to see. Oh, I don't think he has it. But no, but that's only because the royal family is immune to disease, because they're lizards.
That's true.
Oh, right. Are you ready to begin?
Yeah.
You.
Cool. So, in the last session, we started the campaign on board the small isle of Palmaflora, where each of your characters took in the lovely weather and relaxing beach atmosphere before, unfortunately, a number of sea devils encroached, attacking the shark hunters that are famed upon Palmaflora, and driving you all from the island as some awful earthquake, some cracking throughout the island, caused the island to sink into the sea below. And you now find yourselves on board the deck of the Wave Chaser, and you find yourself currently surrounded at sea, out at sea, going from Palmaflora, and we'll just basically move you over to there so we can kind of describe the scene. So, with each of you on board, you are now surrounded by refugees, crewmates, as the ship of the Wave Chaser just slowly chops through the waves. The atmosphere on board is quite tense as Flora Isle and the rest of Palmaflora grows ever smaller on the horizon. And the Wave Chaser continues on through the waves and waters of the Lucidian Ocean. And so you surround yourselves now. You can see several refugees from the village are huddled on the deck of the ship whilst the crew tends to the vessel. What are each of you doing?
Red wants to look. Is the island sinking? Can we see anything looking back towards Palmaflora?
Yeah, do a perception check for me.
15.
You can quite easily see Red with your sort of your keen eye. You can make out on the distance that the island is almost completely sunk into the water.
And she just kind of says to herself, "That's a hell of a thing."
I was supposed to lie low on that island. I don't know what I'm doing now. Oh, and Hank. Oh, God. What a mess.
My commiserations. He seemed a faithful companion.
Oh, he was a good boy. I'm gonna miss him. Oh my God, why am I gonna tell my mom?
Well, one thing at a time, huh? I think I should probably introduce you to the captain.
Yeah, looking around Tank, you can see, like, amongst the crew, there's a burly, hairy man that's playing a card game with some of the refugees. You see a half-orc that gazes out at the waves as she smiles at a dolphin that leaps through the ship's wake. You see a young male elf with, like, pale bluish-green skin and watery eyes is speaking to a female dwarf with a thick knotted beard. A handsome muscle-bound man is flirting with some of the refugees as well.
Yeah, Hank doesn't care.
As you're staring out Hank as well, I need Kieran. Can you have Alfwen perform a stealth check for me?
Okay. Hang on, I'll just put her here. Still.
Scalar up.
Poor, what is Granny doing? Oh.
You would notice that Granny, especially Tank, would notice looking over that she's currently just sitting on the edge of the ship, her feet dangling over, and is just quietly just taking in the wind and waves and the sight of Palmaflora behind her. But she seems... Do a quick insight check, Tank, please. Or Red, if Red's looking over as well.
Yeah, I'll do an insight.
Red, you're more sort of focused on other things, and you just like, well, whatever, she's been through a lot, sort of thing. Tank, you look over and you definitely get, like, since you were really in the heat of the action and saw, you know, the fact that this lifeless body kind of sprung out of the water suddenly, Granny Shiny Wax certainly looks very sort of dejected at the ship. Well, not dejected at an 18, more just kind of like glazed over.
Would he approach? Probably not. But he would say to Red though. No. Well, I've not seen her like that before. She's got a bit more of a spice for the alcohol, if you know what I mean.
Is she a friend of yours?
No, but I had a close eye on her for the last, what was it, a month? Yeah, I've been feeding her lots of alcohol, you know, I had a bet and all.
The eyebrow rises over Red's scarred eye. She kind of winces slightly. You had a bet to do with feeding alcohol to an old gnomish lady.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Well, I suppose that's sunk into the sea now. I suppose it don't matter, but damn it.
Well, one thing at a time. You're on the wave chasing now, and it's important to understand who's in charge. And she nods over towards Three Earrings, who I believe is up here.
Yeah, you'd see at the sort of head of the ship, of the helm, you'd see Three Earrings kind of staring out to sea currently at the back of the site of Palmaflora, looking out. You can't really make out what she's pondering from this distance, but she's staring out back at the sort of in that direction.
Yeah. Her word goes here, so you make sure. I'm not gonna forget what you did for me, but you gotta make sure you stay on the right side of her.
Oh, yeah. Well, don't mention it, and, definitely don't mention that, head injury you got there. Well, Tabaxi, eh? Well, the slinky kind, that's all I know him.
Just, She, like, casts an appraising eye over Tank. Your, useful qualities are apparent to anyone who takes a look at your Tank. Just be yourself, I'm sure things will work out.
Well, good to know. I'm not sure how long I'm gonna be here for, though. I mean, I suppose I ain't got nowhere else to get back.
Right now.
So
Yeah,
as
Red just looks over towards Three Earrings to try and sort of gauge the mood of the ship and the crew.
yeah, do an insight check for me, Red. Yeah, you get the impression that the crew seems sort of a bit unfazed. These are kind of quite hardy people. They're kind of, some of them seem quite excited. Like, you look over to, you'd recognise Boearth, who there's a darkly handsome, very sort of chaotic, heavy set and strong man who's sitting at the side with these refugees and just kind of like playing a game, like trying to get them to play along with him in a sort of game of chance. And he kind of just throws his hands up in the air a bit and looks around. He's like, "Oh, you're no fun," and kind of like walks off from these refugees who are kind of just sitting there. Their homes and stuff have been
Shaking.
Yeah, and he's just like walking off, and he's just like got his hands behind his head, and he like makes his way in your direction. Meanwhile, you can see that Darjarkle, the female half-orc, is very sort of quietly, as her usual self, quite serenely, just sort of staring out to sea. You'd notice that the first mate, Heidi Axebeard, the female dwarf, is just sort of keeping busy, sort of navigating the sea, and she's just sort of like barking orders at Dilyu, who you know is probably the most like newest member of the crew. It's a kind of a running joke within. He like joined maybe like a month or so previous, and it's become kind of a running joke that like when he first started, he had no idea he was aboard a pirate vessel. He himself looks like he's shouting something at Heidi, who's kind of like just like, oh fuck off Dilly sort of thing. You can probably make out the ship's not huge, that he's sort of shouting like angrily about going back to Palma Flora and killing the sea devils.
Oh shit.
And
Yeah.
finally you would just notice that the sort of quite attractive one of the navigators is Kajori, another male human, is just sort of, he's just kind of like talking to the refugees, like sort of flirting with them, as I said before, as the woman who's kind of sitting there, and she's sort of paying him no mind.
Yeah, she just call out quickly and just say, "Pipe down, Dill. Cap's got enough on her mind."
We've got to go back and kill those stupid sea devils. We can't just leave it.
Am I to understand you woke up this morning and decided you were captain of the ship, Dilyu?
He kind of shrugs and he's like, this is... And he kind of like storms off to the other side and starts sulking.
Yeah.
Do a quick perception check for me, Red.
Perception.
I know.
Oh, that one.
You look over the ship and there's no one of interest to you in particular, and Alfwin, as the commotion on board and suddenly the quick leaving of the ship and the sort of shouting above, and you kind of look above and you sort of realise that the days and time you've stalked below the decks of the ship unnoticed, suddenly you realise there's a lot of strangers on board, and suddenly you have a quick instinct, a mind to think, I can fit in here. And from your hiding place, you suddenly sneak up on board and just suddenly sit down and just watch very intently. And
Yeah, she'd be like, those sea devils sure were bad.
and sort of Dilyu like looks over at you and he's
And
like,
she looks around.
don't you want to take back your home?
Oh, no. Yes, I suppose.
Exactly.
Yes.
So stupid. He kind of like again throws his
Yeah.
he throws his hands up in the air again and kind of just like looks back at Red and looks up to Three Earrings, who's again sort of staring away out at sea, and just sort of like just leans overboard and just kind of spits into the water.
She's like, oh, I loved Palma Flora. Sort of half giggling to herself.
Do a
hang on.
deception check for me.
Yeah, I'm already going there.
Yeah, this guy does not seem to catch on to the fact at all. He's pretty distracted himself. Meanwhile, Bo Earth kind of comes up between you and Tank Red and just sort of says, well, they're no fun. What say you two fancy a game? Gotta keep ourselves entertained while we're on board.
They're not here to be fun, but they just had their home destroyed.
Well, you know, we gotta make the best of a bad situation.
I don't know, mate. I'd like a game. What you playing?
We're playing 2 dice straight.
Well, I'm
You
sure
ever
I'll
played
figure
that?
it out.
Right,
Probably.
go on, take this. Right, I'm the house. You guys are the whatever the not house is, and you guys roll a dice each, and I roll a dice as well. And we see, I roll 2. If you can roll higher than me, then you get a nice little bit of gold back off of me. If you're willing to play.
Oh, sounds alright to me.
All right, we gotta take this guy's fun. See, Red didn't take no refugee.
See, it's
Sorry, this
Tank.
voice is so hard on my throat.
This is Tank. He's about as far from a refugee as you can get. He's the only reason I'm on this ship now.
Well, thank you, Tank. I'm sure we could use another member aboard the Wave Chaser if you're looking for a new line of work after you. Sorry about your home and all that.
Well, I'm not, but maybe a temporary, lying low, well, somewhat low place.
Why, you're always looking to make money. You seem like a money folk to me.
Oh, yeah, if you're offering a job.
Oh yeah, I can't say myself. I ain't the one giving out the work, but I'm sure the captains are gonna be interested in. You seem like a strong fella.
Well, I mean, I'm used to doing security, but, anything you got, I guess.
Well, I'm sure the captain will have a word with you, see what's going on. Well, in the meantime, roll your dice. Say you can roll a d6 if you're playing. If you want to play 2, Reg, you can.
Yeah.
The minimum bet is 1 gold.
Yeah.
He rolls 2.
Thrown a couple of gold in.
No dice today, ladies and gentlemen. Want to play again?
Well, why not? I got all day, I guess.
Oh.
Right, another gold. Let's put it in. Ooh.
Hey.
Oh, we got a big spender in Tank. Right, how you could have. It's fair. 4 gold pieces back. 4-to-1 odds. I don't know how odds work, so if that's wrong, then don't flame me.
No idea.
That favours us more, I think, so I'm good with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. The 4. Take away 1, so 3. Wait. What do we lose on the bet? I'm confused.
You put 1 gold
You
into.
lost the first one,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then you won 4, so yeah, you're right. You're up 3.
Okay.
Red bet 2, so she's actually up 6.
Nice.
But she is not gonna step in for the next round. She gives Tank a big
Oh
pat on
no,
his
sorry.
shell.
You have to. Red has to beat the total of his rolls.
Oh, the total!
Yeah, it's massively in his favor. It's a bullshit game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That is fine, so that's down to 11. That's fine.
Sure, I can't shake any more money off you, Red. Tank's taking me down to cleaners.
Well, you take good care of him, boy. And she gives a big pat on Tank's big shell.
I can show you the world, boy. And he kind of puts his hand around your arm and starts sort of leading you off around the ship.
Well, I got some things I can show you. And he holds some, and we just see what, because I know he's got some dicey stuff as well.
Oh yeah.
Playing card set he's got, and dice sets.
Oh, cool. So, okay. So, would you be playing some games with him then?
Yeah, just kind of.
Okay. So, give me a. Give me 3 sleight of hand checks, but using your intelligence modifier instead of your things. If you're proficient in sleight of hand, you can add your proficiency to an intelligence check.
Intelligence. Should I just do intelligence checks? Because.
Are you proficient in sleight of hand?
No.
No, just intelligence then. 3 different ones.
3.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, Tank, over the course of sort of half an hour, let's say, you do end up losing a further 4 gold pieces to Boearth as he kind of rinses you a little bit.
Oh, shit. Having the worst luck today. Lost my Hank, lost my gold, lost my alcohol that's free. Oh, shit.
Well, better luck next time. Let me give you the grand tour. And he kind of starts showing you around the different parts of the ship. He's like, this here's the ballista and stuff like that. And what's Red doing this time?
In the meantime, Red wants to do 2 things.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to take a bit of a mental inventory of who's on the ship now.
Okay.
Just in terms of numbers. So, like, there's Captain and... Is it 5 or 6? I've got them written down. 1, 2, 3,
Naturally.
4.
Yeah.
Can I do an insight check to see who is important on this ship for Alfwin?
Yeah, of course. Do a insight check for me.
Is there anyone she would have picked up as being important before, other than the captain?
Do me 2 insight checks. One for like before, and then one for more for now.
8 and 10.
So 8, I'd say it was before. I think below deck is kind of hard to tell.
Yeah.
I think the only, like, with the 10 for now, the only one you really get a sense is this woman here, who seems to kind of be like barking orders occasionally to different people, like, and getting them to sort of like sort out different parts of the ship, like mostly to Darjarkle and Kijori, and occasionally to Delia
Would she
as
be
well.
able to determine who's new on the ship?
Do me a perception check with disadvantage.
Okay.
I think it's too hard to tell. I think with your insight, you can definitely tell that this person's not new, but apart from that, you're not really sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Red's just trying to... Is it 6 main crew members?
Yep. So including yourself, you've got Kajori,
Oh, including
Dilyu,
myself, would be 7.
yeah, Heidi, Boearth, Darjarkle, and then 3 earrings, of course.
Yeah, so crew of 7. And then, so she's counting the refugees. How many refugees
So
are
there
on
would
the ship?
currently be 1, 2, 3 refugees.
With Alfwin.
That's including
Oh,
the hidden
sorry,
Alfwin.
4 including Alfwin.
Oh. Okay, that's fine. She's made a mental note of that. And then she's gonna try and prod the captain. She heads up to the fore deck or whatever it is,
Mm.
and stands at a respectful distance behind. She says, "Captain."
You see, like at the top of the ship, 3 earrings is sort of now like there's a sort of like a table sort of section, and she's kind of like puzzling over a map that's pinned to its like surface by like a couple of daggers and knives. You can see there's like several golden rings glistening on her paws as she traces potential paths through the ocean. She glances up at you, Red, with her emerald eyes as you sort of approach her, and her feline face sort of spreads into a sharp, tooth familiar smile that's equally parts cheerful and unsettling. She just says, "Red, what is it?"
I didn't want to disturb you, Captain. I just wondering is there a plan with these Palmaflora land folk that have come aboard now? I can vouch for a couple of them myself. The turtle and the elderly lady who looks a little lost right now. They were nearby and helped me fending off some of those sea devils. But
Yes, I like the look of the turtle in particular. He's
strong, Captain.
He looks
stronger
it.
than I've seen in a while.
Certainly Do you know why we were brought to Pamaflora, Red?
And narrows her eyes. She's been trying to figure it out. Could I do like an insight check? See
Yeah,
if she...
do an insight check for me. Or
Figure it out.
or an intelligence check, if you prefer.
So... Ah, 8.
Yeah, you've really struggled. Like, it seems like Three Angels has been quite kind of secretive recently, and it's been quite kind of reserved and more. Usually, she's quite like kind of upbeat and very involved with the crew, and kind of like but more recently, she's been quite reserved. She stays in her cabin a lot more. She's keeping her distance a lot more. So you've struggled to sort of get any real insight on what the reason you were brought to Palmaflora, apart from, it's known for being a fucking vacation island.
Yeah, she knows how she managed, well, one of the ways she tried to get on the ship in the first place. She knows that Three Rings likes to feel powerful and to exploit the weakness of others. So she kind of, even not knowing, usually she keep her mouth shut, but here she's just sort of stumbles a guess and just says, holiday goers have got a lot of gold swinging around.
She kind of smiles again and just sort of looks at you and just says, that pretty island, we have, I have much to discuss with the crew now. The sinking isle, and the treasure that awaits us if we return.
I see. Well, Cap, far be it from me to try and get the lowdown before everyone else. I'll head back to my duties. She kind of spins on her heel.
See you do that.
Heads back down. Her mind kind of racing at the hint in Three Earrings words. And yeah, she kind of posts up midship, exchanging small pleasantries with the rest of the crew, but not really striking up particular conversation.
Okay. Is there anything else anyone would do in this time, or?
How decked out is Alfwin in comparison to the other crew?
Oh, you tell me. Like the main crew are all pretty decked out with weapons and like basic armor and things you might expect.
Oh no, I meant Red. Sorry.
Oh, Red. Well, you tell me, Tom.
Now that she's rested up, she's gotten her stuff because it was left on the ship, so she's got it now. So I don't think she stands out from the rest of the crew. She does wear chainmail, but it's like a ropey chainmail. The ends of it kind of hanging almost like strings down, and underneath her a more kind of traditional pirate's garb, a kind of cotton blouse that's openish at the front, but with the chainmail showing underneath. She has like a shield, a wooden shield, strapped across her back, with whatever the symbol of the wave chaser, or if we carry a flag for Three Earrings, that symbol is on the shield. And at her side, as a obvious weapon, is a very nasty looking just cudgel, like wooden haft, and what looks almost like a smaller cannonball at the top, just this dark iron sphere at the top of it.
So I think Alfwin, seeing Red approaching this woman who she knows is important, she's gonna sort of wander up and be like, "What are you gonna do with us refugees now then? If we're on your boat illegally, staying away, you may say."
Is this Heidi?
Yeah, that is Heidi. She's the first mate.
So yeah, Red would defer to Heidi's response, knowing that she's the first mate.
Yeah, she kind of looks down at you and says, "Probably drop you off in Port Damali, to be honest."
Oh, you're not going further abroad?
She kind of looks down at you and kind of like looks down and up at you and says, "My other questions?"
Well, I just ran from my beach home, and well, Port Damali is a bit far away.
It's the closest port to where we currently are.
Oh, well, what if you wanted to stay on and go on a bit, you know?
Well, the captain's always looking for new people to put to work. If you wanted to stay
No.
on, make a little bit of extra gold, then I don't see why the
Whoa.
captain wouldn't say no.
Well, yes, that sounds good. Who do I talk to about that?
She kind of smiles and says, "You just wait. I think the captain's got something cooking up."
Oh, well, I had enough drinks in she kind of looks up. Palma Flora. Yes. Okay, I'll go sit over there. And she like sits on those barrels.
Is anyone else doing anything in this time? Can I fast forward a little bit?
No, I don't think so.
No, I think Red's. She's not. Alfred's kind of strange, but she's not piqued Red's suspicions or anything. Red's mostly got eyes for the captain, is just like kind of watching to see what's happening.
Yes, after the ship sort of drifts sort of silently for dropping through the waves for maybe another sort of 20 minutes, suddenly kind of Three Earrings kind of like goes down from looking at this table and with this map kind of stabbed into it, and she suddenly like flips on her heels and then just like pulls the map and the daggers up in one smooth motion and kind of approaches the sort of like overhanging the deck, and she sort of calls out and she's like, "Well, men and ladies, gentlemen, everyone gather round. The captain is here to speak." And you slowly see the crew start gathering round as Three Earrings' words sort of gets. The only person I think who wouldn't would be Granny Shinywax, who remains sort of sitting on the edge of the ship.
I think Alfwyn would be the smallest person in this whole group because she's a gnomeling.
Oh yeah, definitely the smallest.
She's which is half halfling, half gnomeling. So gnome. So she'd be right at the front, just trying to stand out a little bit.
What does she look like?
She looks a lot like her picture, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. She'd be fidgeting a lot and looking out the corners of her eyes a lot. She might be a bit more dishevelled than her picture.
Mm-hmm.
Has she got the eye patch?
She does have the eye patch, and she also has a very fancy necklace hanging from her grey rags.
Over the rags.
Does
Does she wear it out or in?
She fiddles with it a lot, so it's coming out and in a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
So as you gather round, Three Earrings calls out and he says, "Of course, all refugees will be returned to the nearest port as we embark to our destination."
Alfwyn puts her hand up.
"Yes, little one."
What if we don't want to go back? I mean, go somewhere like that.
"Well, in that case then, please will all crew members..."
And she's like,
Sorry, the Discord keeps
she
like,
put her hand up again.
"Little one, go ahead."
Yeah, I'm from Plunder, actually.
Very good. I think most of you are. If you wish to join the crew of the Wave Chaser and any crew members currently aboard, and kind of all the different people sort of put their hands up in the air like, yeah, kind of thing. And she says, please join me in the captain quarters below deck. And she sort of jumps over the thing and then just sort of lands really gracefully and then heads down the stairs.
Well, I guess I know where I gotta go next. Sort of looks around. I see. He sort of looks around to see if anyone else is going first.
You'd see all
Alflin would, yeah.
Yeah, all the crew would be heading down as well.
Coming.
The rest of the refugees definitely would not. They kind of keep their distance.
Yeah.
And so you find yourself sort of heading down to the lower parts of the ship, sort of heading through a section sort of quite open with lots of storage and sort of hammocks on either side where the crew sort of sleeps, and then eventually heading to a room at the far end with a big kind of iron banded wooden door that Three Earrings is kind of holding open and sort of gesturing inwards. As you see as you head in, there's a big table in the centre with a much bigger map this time and even more daggers kind of stabbed into it around there. And a sort of mug of ale at the head of it and a pirate's captain's hat sitting on top of like a huge chair that sits at the end, and a little parrot that sits just on the corner, a stuffed parrot. And Three Earrings kind of like walk slyly around the table as each of you sort of gather around, and each are invited to take a seat. And Three Earrings kind of leans back in her chair and kind of like dons her captain hat and kind of pulls it down, and then just kind of tickles the chin of her stuffed parrot aboard, and she says, well, it seems we've got some new volunteers, haven't we?
I think that Tank is habitually like standing up near the door, like the security guy. It's just like looking around.
Do you, what's your passive deception? It's your charisma score plus 10. Well, no, it's 10 plus your. Let me figure it out. How do you work out passive?
Deception?
No, one sec. Yeah, what's your deception? Like, what's your?
It's 3.
So 13. I'll just quickly do something. Insight. Here's this. Oh, whoops, didn't mean to roll advantage. Need to change that. I'll take the one on the left for now. 6. Do a deception. Oh no, you said it was 13, didn't you? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my deception, I think.
She's kind of looking over at you, and she's like, she kind of just sort of doesn't pay much mind, really.
Yeah. You just scanning the room.
Seem of interest to you, big man? Gesturing to you, Tank.
Well, I don't think a butcher's gonna be very happy if I turn up early, so I guess I'll earn some money here if you're offering it.
She kind of just smiles and chuckles and says, perhaps. And what of you, little one?
I've worked on a merchant ship along the Menagerie coast before, and well, with my home now underwater, I might as well have, a new home.
Do a deception check.
Okay. Here we go.
Jeez, 3 Earrings, you're not doing good at reading today. Yeah, no, she doesn't. She buys it. Yeah, as she's sitting there, she says, well, welcome aboard to the newest member of the crew. Everyone give them their round of applause, their little welcome. And the crew starts sort of clapping away. And he says,
Yeah, Red smiles a big smile at Tank and claps towards him with her hands.
And just sort of gruffly nods and crosses his arms like,
now, let me all look around the room and just see if anyone here knows why I brought us to the lovely sunken isle of Palmaflora. She sort of looks across the table. Everyone's kind of sort of either sheepishly avoiding eye contact or and not really paying attention, or not paying attention, but like definitely sort of trying not to get asked, like, sort of thing. And Kajori kind of puts his hand up and he's like, to you know, have some party times. And then, like, Blue Earth kind of, like, goes, yeah, kind of, like, and gives him a little, like, dig in the ribs. And she says, really, no one? Well, whilst the rest of you have been taking your time to relax, I have been doing important business. Now let me make this clear, Mr. Tank and Little Miss Alfwin. It is very important to me on board the Wave Chaser that how is either of you with the lore?
well, let's just say a lot of things can be bought for gold.
Good answer. You, little one?
I just want to see. Just reading something. I'm alright with the shore wardens.
What did you say? You cut out for me.
I'm alright with the shore wardens.
God, Natalie cannot remember what the fucking shore wardens are. Did
I
you?
think they're people. They're just the army of this place, I think.
Just quickly Google. Oh, the Clovis Concord and the guards. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you say she's all right with them?
Well, hasn't had any business with them. But yeah, she said alright.
Do a quick charisma check for me.
Seven.
She kind of looks you up and down and is just like, Would you say you're on good terms with the shore wardens? Do you enjoy spending time with those in the Clovis Concord to
Not anymore.
She kind of smiles and says, let me make this very clear to you. This is your last chance to leave before you get your head too deep in hot water.
My head's already boiling.
Well, let me make this very clear to you then, Miss Alfwin and Big Tank. You are aboard the crew of the Wave Chaser, the Pirates of the Revelry of Darktoe Isle. She kind of looks around the room and sort of scratches the back of her head and says, I'm sure you've heard of us. Our reputation precedes us.
Would I?
You definitely would have heard of the Revelry, yeah. You know, they're infamous pirates who give the Clovis Concord and the Shore Wardens a lot of issue.
Are they badasses?
They're actually, like, yeah, for, like, then I wouldn't say they've been a thorn in the side of the Concord for a long time, to be honest, for like maybe 50 years or so.
What would they be in relation to Tank's backstory with the security work and that?
You would never have worked with them personally.
Okay.
Not directly. Or at least you wouldn't have been aware if you had.
Okay.
Would Alpha know they're good people to be around if someone is coming after you?
It's pretty fucking hard. If you manage to get into Darktoe Isle, it's like really difficult to get there.
Okay, that's good.
Like there's do a quick history check actually for me. Just see how much you actually know.
$14.
14. Just quickly look at this. I think you'd know enough that you've heard rumours that the drag shallow reefs that surround Dark Toile have claimed many ships over the years. Their wrecked skeletons have been dragged atop the rocks as an additional barrier to intruders and as a warning to trespassers. And you've also heard rumours of like even more dangerous things that kind of keep the Concord from ever being able to launch a full-scale invasion of Dark Toile.
Mm-hmm. She'd be like, I have always wanted to see Doctor.
That is more what I like to hear, yes. Well, let me cut straight to the chase. Whilst you have been lazing about, I've been doing some actual research on potential treasure for us. Now, you may not know that far beneath the waves of Powerflora lies a place called Shark Feather Abyss. No, nobody realized that. And as she looks around, she says, it is a nearby trench that is home to a clan of shark-herding humanoids, the Sea Devils. The very same who invaded and sunk the Isle of Powerflora.
Oh, that was bad.
Very bad. Bad for the folk of Powerflora, for sure. Well,
like me.
Well, you may know then, Miss Little Elfwin, that how long you've been at Powerflora, I do not know, and same to you, Big Tank.
Oh,
but
a long time.
Oh, you would be very familiar then that the annual shark hunting festival has been quite at odds with those of the Shark Feather Abyss and the Sea Devils.
Alfred's just nodding along.
Further,
Would he have seen it in the month he's been there?
No, you might have heard stories, I think, Tank, but especially with like because the shark the annual shark hunting contest was sort of coming up just as like quite in sort of relatively soon, so there probably would have been talk about they're going to be those damn sea devils again this year, but like it just sort of seemed like they were a nuisance before, and they definitely didn't come in numbers like they did, you know, on this day sort of thing.
Exactly.
I have discovered that their leader, a sea devil, has taken charge of the Shark Feather clan, and rumor speaks of unusual powers. Apparently she carries a magic scepter. And then she sort of looks around and says, and how did your wondrous captain come across this information? And she like pulls this huge chest over and like planks it on the table, then flips over in front of you, and there's just this head of this sea devil that's just sitting there like on the floor. And she just as she does it, she just like, you see her like sort of begin to move her hands in a kind of like sort of arcane gestury way, and just sort of like taps the head of the sea devil, who just suddenly the eyes kind of like come open, and says, yes, little sea devil, won't you tell us all about your lovely little leader, Selakai? And it just like, it looks up and just says in like a really fishy like voice, like, Selakai leads the Shark Feather clan. And what has Selakai been up to lately? Would this tell of this special rod? She wields the red of the Leviathan. How fascinating. And it seems sorry, go on, Karen.
Alpha put her hand up.
Of course, she sort of nods to you. Any questions, little one?
I just wanted to, slap the head for sinking my home.
Oh, go ahead, punch it. I don't care.
She gives it a light, slap. And she's like, that wasn't very nice. And walks back.
And she looks over and says, "Did that hurt, little sea devil?" And it just says, "It will hurt when the Leviathan takes you all to the depths." And then it just goes and just sort of goes back to sort of being unresponsive.
Alpha,
What a nuisance.
Alpha's just like, that was cool.
I have garnered a lot of information from this creature. It seems that this power, whatever this leader Selakai of the Sharkfeather clan is wielding, is enough to cause an earthquake so powerful that it's dragged Palmaflora beneath the waves. But that isn't what is important. What is important is finding a way to delve beneath those waves and take this scepter from Selakai. Of course, the noble thing, the moral thing to say is it will stop her from causing any more chaos and sinking any more isles if we were to go on another vacation. But more importantly, I'm sure the planking would be very appreciative. So, how about we do it this way? Those who wish to return to Palmaflora with me, and it looks like everyone here, I am willing to pay a hefty sum to. She kind of looks around and she says, let's say 200 gold pieces each. And an extra bonus on top of that for those who retrieve the rod personally.
Well, that's more than a month's pay for me. I can't turn that down.
I like what you say, big boy.
Did we get to go to the Isle?
We will have to go back, yes. You'll have to dive into the waters below and see what you can retrieve for me.
It sounds good.
I do wonder how logistically it's gonna work. I can't breathe that long underwater.
Well, I thought nobody would ask. See, he's not only the bronze, but also the brain. And kind of looks over at some of the other crew, kind of look down and kind of look a bit disheveled at her, sort of mocking them, and says, "We have a number of ports nearby, or islands, they're good sites for the dock, and not only unload our little refugees we've taken on board, but also acquire some things that may help us on our journey. There are 3 ports of call I have in mind. We have the Bisaft Isle, a tiny island with a small port. I know personally that a shaman lives in the hills, reportedly, and, well, perhaps they may sell special charms that may allow us to dive into the waters below. Or, of course, we have Broken Bank, the small village settlement. We may find some Clovis Concord people there, but it is nonetheless filled with foreign ships. There's an apothecary there. Perhaps potions will be available to us. So, of course, we have Port de Mali. I know personally there is a smith there who has black market connections who can help us attain a number of experimental diving helmets. But
Let's not go there. No.
well, we got one vote not for Port de Mali. I will say
Jose.
I will say, I am not a micromanaging captain. I've got many of my own jobs to do. Decide amongst yourselves, crew. Which port do you want to stop in? Now get the fuck out of my quarters.
Hi, boss. And he steps out.
Yeah, redhead straight out.
Yes.
Alfred would like give a little bow and be like, "Thank you, Captain," and walk out.
She kind of smiles at you. You see, like, Dilyu is like walks up beside you, Red, and says, "Can't wait to go fuck up those fucking sea devils."
I told you to wait and listen to the captain, dear. She's always got what's best for us in
Oh,
mind.
she fucking does. Oh, you have no idea what I'm gonna do to those fucks.
I can't wait to see.
Well, I'll get my revenge for Hank as well. 200 gold. Ma'll be proud. Although she ain't gonna be happy when I tell her favorite vacation they sank into the sea.
Where is your ma from, Tank?
Well, Hannah can't remember, but somewhere.
She's from
Yeah,
Port Damali.
What Damali? There you go.
Does that mean you'll be voting for that to be our port of call?
Oh no, I don't really care. Anywhere that's the closest and the quickest, I'm gonna get this 200 gold.
And Red looks over at Alfwin. You had a strong opinion there.
You know, big cities and me, they're not good.
Alright. Well, for me, I must say I'm more enticed by the smaller places myself.
Me too.
Perhaps.
Well, for Damali, I know my way around, but if that's not needed, then I don't really mind.
You could see this butcher fella you mentioned.
Oh no, he ain't gonna be happy if I show up early.
So probably not Automali as a vote for you then.
Well, I mean, he don't normally spend that much time down in the areas I know, but it's possible.
Alright. Well, let's see what the rest of them have to say. You're gonna want to make sure you're familiar with all the names. And Red would take them round and make sure everyone's introduced to everyone.
Yeah, so you're slowly introduced to all the different characters on the ship. If you want to talk to any of them, you can, but you get a general, like, sort of impression of each of them as you do. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Would the only question I got really is, would Hank notice any like familiar, like, would he think that they worked in a similar place to him at any point, or similar, job?
Do an insight check.
Natalie, what's the name of that poor area in Port Damali?
It is called the Tumble Downs.
Because that's where Alfwin's from as well, and it sounds like Tank is from the same place.
Yeah. 18. I mean, they definitely look rough and tumble, Tank. You definitely think these people sort of could work in sort of the tumble down area. They definitely you don't know specifics, but
Okay.
you wouldn't be surprised to see them.
Yeah, fair enough. He's got no questions for him.
Okay. So in that case, unless anyone else has got any more questions or anything they want to do before you sort of head off.
Have we decided where to go?
Yeah, so I mean, I'll allow you to decide amongst yourselves. I imagine between the three of you, you can probably swing the decision in the way of the crew as well.
What's the nearest one?
The nearest one is Port Damali, not by a huge amount though. Let me just quickly have a look.
Second nearest one?
Currently, Broken Bank is about 150 miles. This current ship can travel about 3 miles an hour. That would be 3 miles an hour times 8 is 40 miles a day. So it would take about 3 to 4 days to get there. Bizaft Isle is quite a bit further, to be honest. It's more like 225 miles. It would take a bit longer, maybe. And then Port Damali is about 120 miles away.
Oh, shit, it's so far away. What's the chances I can sneak in there in under an hour and get back up?
Is he saying that to his companions?
It's everyone in the room.
What do you want to do? You want to sneak off the ship?
Well, I was just asking what the chances are. It's within an hour. I can get down and get back up.
Oh, Benito, I think from what the captain's saying, we'll be down there for a little while, Tank.
Oh, shit.
But, whatever...
Your wardens are very, they see everything.
Oh. Well, I guess let's get a move on then. I want to get this going.
For me, I think this shaman sounds the most interesting. Over on Bizef, never been there.
Well, whatever
yeah.
the shaman, I'm
Okay.
sure. Sorry. Okay.
What was that, Kieran?
She said, yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Yeah, so we're thinking of heading to Bizaft?
That's what Red wants.
I'm sure we can shake him down, get some watery stuff from him for free, maybe.
You done a lot of
Anyway,
shaking
that
down?
Molly.
Well, I don't like to brag, but I'm going to brag, and I've done a lot of shaking down.
Is that what you did for Butcher? Back in Damali?
Well, I don't like to say, but yeah, quite a lot. Yeah, he pays good. Ma gets nice vacations out of it.
You're gonna fit right in, Tank. And this isle should take us about as far from Port Damali as possible, little one.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Yeah.
Just don't tell my ma that we're going that far, cause she might have a word to say about that.
I'll try to resist
Would
writing
that-
her a letter.
Would Alfwin recognize Tank, seeing as he's a turtle, and there probably aren't many turtles, right?
Do a perception check.
Okay.
See if you've ever seen him before. Tumbledowns is a pretty big area, though, so...
But I imagine a turtle might stick out, right?
Possibly, but it also... Menagerie Coast is a very multicultural place. It's not impossible there would be
okay.
another turtle there. Yeah,
Well-
yeah, I'd say probably not.
Oh. Tank would definitely not recognise. Like even if he had seen her, he'd just be like,
Street rat.
yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so are you heading off towards Bizaft Isle, did we decide on?
I think so.
Yep.
Okay. So the journey to Bizaft Isle is going to take approximately, let's say about 200 miles, probably not even that much, probably 185. So 85 divided by probably about 4.5 days to get there. So
Okay.
can I have... Let me just quickly read something.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Well, I ain't never crewed a ship before. Do you need me to, hold a bit of wood or something?
Uh, I think you'll find it's mostly each to their skills here, Tank, and there's plenty of heavy lifting and sailing.
I see. Well, just point it out. If you need me to chuck someone overboard, I'm right here.
I'll walk you through it. And I don't think I've heard your name yet, she says to Alfred.
It's Alfred. I can just swap the deck. That's what I used to do before.
Uh, Delia will be happy to hear that. That's been his duty for a while now, and he's always complaining about getting his hands raw.
I don't like to get in the way, so just pretend I'm not here.
All right. So yeah,
What
she'd
was
help.
your name?
Just call me Red,
Like the hair?
like the hair and the hands usually. She holds up her
Look at
hands, and you can
Tanky.
see like faded blood stains and bits of old dried blood by the fingernails and things like that.
Hmm.
Who is that from?
Some of us and some of them.
Who?
I'm something of a medic as well as a fighter.
Oh, the Sea Devils.
Mm-hmm.
They're bad.
Can you are you any good in a scrap? Did you take any of the Sea Devils'
Oh
lives?
no, I just ran. Well, I'm alright with a blade, but I just ran straight onto the ship.
Oh, they weren't that tough. I just punched them down.
And what's your name? Big Shell?
Name's Tank, and well, I would introduce you to my hound, but unfortunately, he perished. I
What do
blame
you mean?
myself somewhat, but unavoidable. Redhead didn't wake up.
Did you manage to bring his body?
Oh no, I had something else in my hands, unfortunately. And he looks over at Rich and Granny.
Maybe you can find him when we get the treasure. I suppose he's a treasure in himself.
Well, that he is. I don't think he'll be much good as bones, though, and food for the fishes.
Could put him on the bow as a mascot or something.
Well, maybe. But I ain't going looking for some skeletons.
Yeah, they probably ate him as well.
Yeah, I reckon. Just like those sea devils to do that. Well, I actually don't know what they do, but I'm assuming they would eat it.
I've only eaten a dog once, and it wasn't great.
No, kind of tough and chewy.
Yeah, too much.
Yeah.
Many people
Fair
come
enough.
looking for them.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've not, no one's come looking for mine, but what? You've been eating dog?
Only when I had to in the tumble downs.
Oh, yeah, a lot of strays
I
around.
mean, then I moved to Palmaflora, but yeah, I spent a lot of time in the tumble downs.
Well, Tumbledown Downs is where I found Hank. He was just a little pup in the streets when I found him.
Yeah, you're lucky it wasn't eaten. He must have been a
No,
good boy.
he was a good boy, and well, at least you didn't get to him first, I suppose.
Yeah, you have to watch out for your next dog, or it might get him.
Well, I'll bear that in mind.
That's quite the upgrade from the streets of the tumble downs to a beach house in Palmaflora.
You know, I won the lottery.
Oh, I heard about this when the rich get to feel good about themselves by splashing some cash on a singular reprobate.
Well, yeah. I guess when you eat dog all day, and you're an obvious target for the rich types.
Well,
You
fair
know,
play
when
to you.
Toddy-
And Red's just like eye slowly squinting down at Alfwin.
it all sunk, so yeah, it's gone. So I guess I can feel good about that.
Back where you started, but well, you're one of us now, and the captain's fair, firm but fair, and you pull your weight, you get what's coming to you.
Yeah, I'll swap this deck and then you can see your face in it.
Alright, let me sort you out with a bucket, and Red will get what's needed.
Okay, awesome. So, over the course of the 5 days of travel, for each day, I need somebody to roll me a d20.
I
Ready
vote
to do it.
Alfwin first.
Alfred first.
First day.
The thing is, she won the lottery. Let's get some of that luck in here.
On the lottery.
Mm.
16, okay. So the first day you spend drifting through the waters with sort of seagulls and various seabirds flying overhead. The rest of the day is quite quiet as you begin to settle in. You're assigned new quarters upon the wave chaser.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, I'm gonna need a stronger hammock.
Yeah, one of the crewmates my brain tired tonight. Probably Bo Earth would set you up with a like nice extra strong hammock he would help make with you.
Yeah.
And the rest of the day passes quite uneventfully. You drift out under the stars in the night as the night passes quite uneventfully into the next day of travel.
Mm-hmm.
Votes me another
Long rest?
d20. Yeah, you'd all get long rest.
8.
So, the second day of travel. So the temperature's quite warm with a light breeze on this day. However, it's a lot more cloudy on this particular day than yesterday, and there's a little bit of fog in the early morning as a light drizzle kind of sort of hits your face as you get on with morning work, making your way around the ship and doing the various jobs for the captain that needs doing throughout the day. However, the rest of the day passes quite uneventfully on your journey
Nice.
into your third day of travel.
That's you, Tank.
What was me?
Roll a d20.
Oh, sorry.
Mm-mm.
14. I just want to say my HP is 17, and so is my AC. So I've got 17, 17, 17, 17.
Nice.
There's steady rainfall throughout the entire day, Hank, and any of you do anything on your sort of third day of travel as you slowly get to know each other a bit more, working with each other? Alfwin swabbing the deck. I imagine Hank getting involved with some of the more heavier jobs aboard a ship.
And playing lots of dice games.
Definitely playing lots of dice games. If you're playing lots of dice games, then do me another do 3 in intelligence checks for me.
Yeah.
Fucking love tank.
Yeah, me too.
Good.
You end up losing a further 6 gold pieces.
Nice.
I feel like on one of the days, Alfwin would slink up to Red
Mm-hmm.
and be like, "Hey,
Hey, to you too.
what brings someone so honourable to be with a bunch of reprobates like here?"
Well, I was sick of the streets, to be honest with you. You think it's bad out here? Well, as you know from
What?
eating dog off the cobbles, things are a lot nastier once you get under the feet of the weight of people in a city, in a town.
Yeah, you remind me of my brother before he went crazy.
Your brother went crazy?
He thinks I'm a demon. That's why I was in Palma Flora hiding out after I won the lottery. Yep.
Yep, at the end. Did you? I have to ask. Did you do anything to give him the impression of you being a demon?
No. He joined the Claret Order, and it just seemed to go downhill from there.
I see. Can Red do a check to
But
see if she knows what that is?
Yeah, do me a history check. You have
Thanks.
no idea.
Okay.
She'd fondle the periactive health on her round her neck. She's like, it's probably because of this. Well, I've got cackle fever, but
Red
this
takes an immediate
reverses
step
it.
back.
You don't have to worry. this periapt stops it, but some of the symptoms come through, and maybe he thought I was going a bit crazy, but it's just the laughter.
Echo. You could be dead.
Yeah, this is why I've got this. And she taps it.
Is that what you spent all your lottery earnings on?
No, someone visiting the tumble downs. I think it was someone of the cobalt soul gave it to me when I was 10ish.
Well, sounds like you won the lottery twice in your life.
But I feel like my brother, he had it too, and he got one. But I think it might have driven him more crazy. Is that how magic works?
I've seen some pretty crazy wielders of magic, and they say sometimes you can get magic in your blood, but sounds to me more like your brother's got what they call survivor's guilt. You know, you see it in crews sometimes when the job goes wrong, and just one of them walks away, and they just can't quite sit right that they were the one that got to survive when their friends and their colleagues ended up at the bottom of the deep blue.
Yeah, it's a bit like my dad.
What happened to him?
You know, he drowned.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was he
She kind of shrugs.
was he a shore warden?
No, he's just a sailor.
All right.
But you know, you seem all right, Red. You know, but don't mess with me because I'll take this off and I'll cough on you.
Good to know we got a biological weapon if we ever need it.
Will you two get back to work?
That's
As Heidi kind of goes
Yeah,
past
Heidi.
and kind of like
Yep.
starts
She
barking
looks
at
at
you.
Heidi and she's like, If you're not careful, I'll come for you too. And she like slinks.
Go ahead, I'm riddled with it.
Red raises a hand and just sort of does a "don't worry about it" expression, and then heads back to work.
Okay, so the rest of the
In
day.
fact, sorry,
Oh, go on.
I've just noticed I've got proficiency in medicine because Red's got a bit of the healer's way about her. Could I have just done like a look at Alfwin?
Yeah, go ahead, of course.
Damn.
Oh no, my internet's been really crap today. Oh, natural 20. Alfwin.
Does it seem like what Alfwin said?
You tell me, Alfwin.
Hang on, I'll look up what cackle fever does. I know it makes you laugh uncontrollably, but I don't know how far on she was.
She permanent blushing in the face. Let's say it now.
Yeah,
I think
I
you
imagine she'd look.
Sorry, go on, Kieran.
No, hang on. The shrieks, fever, and disorientation.
I think with a natural
yes.
20, a natural 20, you'd also know that gnomes are usually immune, but probably due to Alfwin's sort of half nature. But yeah.
The last thing I'd look for, and maybe the net 20 gets me there, is because Alwyn's story is fucking paper thin. Red would look. Does she look like she spent her childhood on the streets? Are there signs of like malnourishment? Is her skin kind of poor quality, premature aging? Does her growth look stunted, even with being a gnomeling?
I imagine so, right, Kieran?
She's taller than a halfling, but she's like a tall halfling instead of a short gnome.
Yeah. Okay.
And she probably looks like she's got wrinkles in her face, and probably also because of her laughing, the skin on her face is like slightly loose.
She looks like she's had a
probably
hard childhood.
Yeah, she's probably got extremely tired eyes as well.
Okay. Oh, that's the final thing. And actually, Red 100% would have brought this up. Sorry, because Red wears her scar like openly. She would have been like, as the conversation came to an end, she'd be like, "I have to ask, what's with the?" And she points to her own scarred eye.
Alfred just lifts up the eye patch and looks at her, and there just isn't an eyeball in the socket.
Just an empty socket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Red would flinch. She'd just give her a sort of respectful nod.
He got infected, and my brother took it out. That's before his crazy vape.
And is the patch for you or for so that other people don't have to squirm?
Well, you know what they say about pirates and why they wear eye patches?
Tell me.
It's because when you go below deck, you can only concentrate with one eye. But I thought it's just ironic because I only have one eye.
Red laughs.
He wants to see this. And she you just see her empty socket.
Is she like staring around at other people with it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Aggressively.
Boeth would be like, "Oh, that's real neat. Can I put my finger in it?"
She looks over, she's like, "I can take yours out if you want."
Nah, I need both of mine for gambling. What does it feel like in there?
She gets her finger and puts it in her eye socket. She's just like, "Not good, what the fuck do you think?"
Can you put stuff in there? Like store your gold. No one ever think to look in there.
Well, I think it's probably the first place they fucking look.
I mean, I wouldn't think to look there, but,
It's because you're an idiot.
Well, good day to you, too. I'm gonna go sit with Tank. He seems nicer than you do.
Well, I can always take your eyes. You take your eye out if you want someone to put your coin.
I might hold you to that.
Oh yeah, I'll try now if you want.
Don't you need like special tools or stuff?
She'd do a persuasion check to be like, yeah, I've got them.
Yeah, this guy's pretty stupid. Do me a persuasion check with disadvantage. It's pretty high DC.
Okay, fuck.
I love it. It's gonna be fun explaining that one to the captain. Ooh.
Yeah, no, he's like, nah, I won't take you up on your offer this time, but, you know, I'll have a think about it. I always got use for extra pockets.
She nods but shakes her head, like, at the same time.
Yeah, Red just says as a final part. This one points to her own, don't really work so well. Sometimes I think about making it a clean finish of it, but I think I wouldn't want to steal your look.
Yeah, I'll take it out if you want.
You make a business out of that, you ain't gonna get many customers.
If they die, I won't.
Alright. But now, let's
I'll
just
practice on the chaff before I do someone slightly better.
practice on the Sea Devils when we get there, maybe.
She thinks of her head, and she's like, yes.
So the day passes as the sort of the clouds and rain shift and the sun begins to sort of swelter down across the now makeshift shelters that sort of make up a lot of the deck of the wave chaser that the refugees have kind of made under there. And the ship sort of travels on, chopping through the waves until you get like a very salty scent as you're moving closer and closer to Bizafta Isle, and eventually the day passes into night, and once more the work day sort of comes to an end, and you're left drifting throughout the evening.
I will say one thing. So I don't know how interested or perceptive Alfwin or Tank would be, but at night, Red, most nights when she thinks she can get away with it, will try and sneak up on deck.
Interesting.
In the middle of the night.
Do me a stealth check and then do me a perception check.
Okay. She won't be wearing her chainmail while she's sleeping. It would just be a normal roll. 17.
Tank's not on duty. He ain't watching.
Perception.
Yeah, Alpha probably wouldn't be there.
Oh, nat 1 for perception.
Interesting. Let me just roll something quickly. Boom, and let's roll. Boom. Interesting. Yeah, you head out onto the board of the deck on this particular night, and you do what you do.
Yeah, it's pretty ritualized. She looks around. Obviously, I rolled a nat 1. She heads to somewhere on the deck that seems isolated away from people, perhaps the very front or the very back. She's brought her shield up onto the deck, but not her... In fact, no, yeah, that's perfect. She's brought her shield and her mace, the improvised mace, up onto the deck, but not wearing her chainmail. And she props her shield up against the side of the ship, like the railing, and she puts her mace very carefully down, so it's like sitting, so the head of the mace is in the middle of the back of the shield.
Mm-hmm.
And on the back of the shield is like, it just looks like this is how the shield is built. It's got like wooden slats on the front, and then inside it's all reinforced wood, but then there's like a sheet of leather. Again, just looks like it's there to build it up, but what she can do is she can peel back the leather, and underneath is the part of a symbol that is completed by the shaft of the mace sitting in it. And she says a prayer to her god, quietly, whispering to herself. Maybe 5 minutes maximum before she gets nervous and covers it up and puts it all back away again and heads back down to sleep.
Does Red do this every night?
She does it when she thinks she can get away with it. So if she knows that, I don't know, Boa's like up on deck, drunk, doing something, she wouldn't go up there. But if she thinks if it's her watch on deck or watching the wheel, or she knows that the person watching the wheel or what have you is, 1, an idiot, 2, too drunk to notice, or 3, she thinks she can like convince them that she's just coming up to fucking, I don't know, look at the sky or whatever, she'll get away with it.
Okay, roll me a D100 for each day. We'll count this the third day as a success on you being able to. Okay, first day is pretty hot, you think, as Boearth is drunkenly drinking with some of the refugees that are sitting on top of deck and like trying to gamble as much money out of them as he can. The second day, however, is a lot quieter. The refugees are like quite clearly sleeping. Do me another dex stealth check and another perception check, please.
Got it.
I'm gonna have to start doing this for each day. Similar kind of rolls.
Yep.
So let me just roll something. Okay. On the second night, you did notice something the ordinary. You noticed that at the very edge of the ship, where you might have gone to isolate yourself, you quietly sort of sneak around and keep quiet and not trying to draw attention yourself, and you see that at the edge of the ship you see Darjarkle, who hasn't noticed you, and you sort of peek over and she's sort of standing on the edge of the ship and she's currently like holding a bird in her hand. It's like a seabird, like a small seabird. And it sort of looks as if she's almost like talking to it. But she hasn't noticed you and you're not really close enough to be able to get like a full picture of what's going on. If you want to sneak closer you can, but it will require another stealth check.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Red would. Getting lucky. 16.
Another perception check. As you sneak closer, you sort of begin to hear like light muttering, and then you kind of like step slightly too hard on the board, and it kind of makes a larger sound as you're making your way upstairs. And Darjarkle sort of turns around and looks at you, and then the bird kind of flies off. She like gestures, and it flies off into the air. And she looks down at you and just sort of says, "Oh, Red, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you there."
It seems like I should be the one apologizing, Dar. Didn't want to interrupt.
That's all right. I better get to bed anyway. I was just passing the time.
What was with the, if you don't mind me asking, with the bird?
Oh, I was just feeding it, you know. Sometimes these hungry little fellas, I like to sneak them a little bit of bread out of the Where would you store food on a fucking boat? I know nothing about boats.
In big barrels, probably beneath
Yeah.
deck.
You get I sneak these out from beneath deck.
Ain't no harm in that. Looking after a little bird, is it one you've seen before?
I don't rightly know, to be honest with you. They all kind of look the same. Maybe though, maybe they follow in the night and whatnot.
Well, it seems to like you. It's not often you can get a bird to sit in your hand.
It's just a bread, you know. I better get to sleep.
All right. Good
See,
night, Dal.
see you well, Red. She kind of like makes her way past you a bit sheepishly and makes her way down below deck.
Red goes to the spot where Dajarkle was and just gives it a glance over to see if there's anything there.
Do an investigation check. 20.
30 20.
You would notice that in the wood, there's like a light scratching in the wood, and it almost seems kind of like there's a pattern to it.
Can I look closer or try and discern what the pattern is?
Yeah, do me a nature check.
Nature.
Or Arcana if you want.
They're the same. I'll do nature.
20.
Oh! I'm getting so lucky.
Very good.
Yeah, 30, 20.
You kind of get the impression that these kind of look like very light, like they're almost like very like lightly carved into the wood. Like it looks like something's been once carved into it, and it looks like the 20 investigation maybe a few months ago. You reckon it looks not particularly old, but it's not so old that but it's also not brand new. And you get the impression they're like some kind of druidic markings.
Ooh.
A 20.
Awesome.
The 20's pretty good. Do me another nature check, just to see how well. Man, I think it's pretty hard. Oh, fuck me, you're rolling super well.
I'm getting so lucky.
Yeah, these are
Like
these are pretty high DCs for each thing of
straight
this.
up. It's like the opposite of fucking tank last session.
Yeah, you recognize this particular symbol. How much experience would like Red have with arcane magic or anything like that? Like we should like knowledge, even just knowledge of it. She doesn't necessarily have to. Do you think she's quite well read?
Yeah, he well read. Yeah.
Did not mean to make that fun.
Red, I would say, is a broad learner more than a deep learner. She likes to know about all sorts. The arcane, I think, would interest her simply because, especially on the Menagerie coasts, it's often like a sign or symbol of power. People who are skilled in the arcane arts are often powerful. So yeah, somewhat. She loves to learn and listen into conversations and ask questions. All aspects of people, really.
I think the fact that she recognizes it as some kind of, she can't really read it exactly, but the symbols are more simplistic and druidic, and I think she sort of thinks back to kind of maybe a time where she's sort of flicking through a book and one of the symbols just looks oddly familiar, and you recognize it as being that of like an animal messenger.
Oh. Very intriguing. Okay.
And you get the impression based off the carving in the wood that it's kind of carved here, and like you sort of remember it's ritually can be sort of cast. That's all
that
you
is
get the impression of.
Super interesting to read. And in fact, I think with Dajarkle going below decks and people seemingly asleep, she'd actually do her little ritual by the symbol as well, knowing her god's relation to the Wild Mother.
Yeah.
She would see that as a positive sign and almost comforting in a way, potentially. So, yeah, she would do her little ritual there.
Okay.
Before heading to bed.
Another night passes into a new day. And can I have another D20 from someone, please?
That is back round
to me.
Alpha.
Yay! Oh, okay.
Yeah. Ooh.
And on this particular day, there's some early fog and steady rainfall in the morning, but the breeze, sort of a moderate breeze, blows through and kind of almost blows the clouds away from your, away from any real sort of dangerous weather you might encounter, and the rest of the day is pure sunshine and very hot and sort of very clammy weather as you as performing tasks on the ship always becomes uncomfortable as you get close to the middle of the day, and you might find that you might need to take even 3 earrings is definitely sort of, you see as comes out and sort of struggling at one point and kind of encourages everyone to sort of settle down for a midday kind of like siesta kind of thing.
Oh, lovely.
But could you also roll another D100 for me, Tom, if Red is gonna...
Oh, yep, she will. Oh.
Once more, stealth and perception check for me then, please.
Uh-oh.
You don't spot anyone this time.
Yeah, she'd head to what seems to be a secluded area of the ship. Does her little
ritual once more.
5-minute ritual. I don't think she'd do it at the markings, but she'd cast an eye at the markings again. Just passing. And then do her ritual, yeah.
And finally, we pass into the final day. Where can I get one more D20 roll, please, from someone?
That's me. Uh-oh. 4.
And the day is quite calm once again. The hot temperature builds as early in the morning you hear the voice of Birth calls out, and he just says, "Wake up, everyone!" And you can see as you rouse from your slumber that the sun is barely above the horizon, but you can just make out the docks of a port through the porthole window of your cabin. He says, It's time past dawn, time to get moving, everyone!"
Oh shit, 5 days go by already. Gosh. Could have done with some more gambling.
If you wanted to do more gambling, you could have.
Let's do one more.
Yeah, one more. Okay, 3 more intelligence checks for me, please.
We're gonna have to do an intervention for Tank.
No, this casino machine's gonna pay out soon.
You lose another 3 gold, Tank. So as you like emerge from your cabins, you find that the refugees from Palma 4 are packing up their few possessions they were able to save, and they kind of thank you as they begin going ashore, and it's like one of the refugees sort of approaches you, Red, and just says, "Well, if you ever staying in a busy after hour, I'll always be happy to arrange some shelter for you folks. We would have died on there. if you hadn't helped us make it out.
We thank the powers that be that we made it as we did, and that's appreciated, friend. What's your name?
Oh, my name's Herman.
Oh man, aren't we at Bizef Dial?
You are, yeah. You've sure now. You've begun to
Yeah.
dock.
So he's saying in the future if we come back.
Yeah, he's saying if you ever come back here another time, then
Yeah.
he'd be happy to offer you any lodgings and stuff.
Yeah, Red would give him a hearty slap on the side of the shoulder. That'll be remembered, Herman.
And share yourself out. We put together a little fund. Me and the girls, we 5 gold pieces each from us, and share them out amongst the crew if you want.
Can other people see this as happening?
You could try and hide it if you wanted to. He's being fairly open about it, but
She would. It's tough. If she stood like side by side with other crew members,
they're all quite busy.
Very differently.
I think they're all quite busy, so you could probably.
Okay, then yeah, she would very sort of quietly and purposefully like close his hands back over his gold and just be like, "Now, there's no need for any of that. You're gonna make good use of this, right? Put it towards extra bed for when we need those lodgings, huh?"
Do me a stealth check. I think you're okay. DC was quite low. He says, "Oh well, thank you kindly. I hope you folks find you selves many blessings upon you in that."
You have fun telling those down the local inn about your run in the revelry, Herman.
The what now? I will point out to you, like, they don't technically know you're the revelry.
Okay. So the cat. Oh yeah, because the captain was like,
Yeah.
He wants to come down.
Exactly, yeah.
Then yeah, Red wouldn't have said that.
Okay.
She'd be like, tell him about your time aboard the Wave Chaser.
Yeah, I'm sure I will. Good day to you.
Good day.
And you see as he sort of gathers in stuff and begins disembarking. So quickly, anyone who wants to can roll me a history check to see how much they know about Bizafdial. I'll quickly move you over to this as well.
6. And I did say Red hadn't been there before.
No.
Who's that?
It's just some dude sitting under docks. Tank. Yeah, I'd say Alfred and Red, you know very little about Bizafdial. Tank, you know a little bit more. You know it's the largest island in an archipelago southwest of Port Damali. You know it's quite a lush expanse of jungle mostly. And the only real part of it that's like livable is a very small, like single bastion of civilization known as Bizaf Post. Just a small harbour town, really.
Would he have been there before?
You tell me.
Well, I mean, I don't know how much, security anyone's gonna need over here.
Probably fuck all. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
You might find. You may have. That's a good question. Roll me a D100. I'd say it's probably about a percent chance. I think you may have made one journey here where Butcher wanted you to hide a stash here, basically, or collect a stash. And based on that, I think you'd know that
It's just because with the pugilist thing, if I've spent 8 hours carousing in a place, then I know basically everything about it.
Oh, very cool then. So yeah, in that case then, you definitely would know that it's a favoured location to hide contraband on Bizafta Isle because of the dense foliage and forestation. You'd also know there's like abandoned ruins all over the island. I would say with your history check you don't know much about the ruins, but you know that they exist.
So I know, so it says here that I know all the public locations in the city as if I was born and raised there, and you cannot get lost.
Okay,
Basically.
awesome. In that case, then, I will say that you know that there is an apothecary here. You'd know there's a general goods store here. You'd know there was a scrollery here.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd know there was also a smithy here.
Yeah. You'd lay that out to whoever looks like they're in charge right now.
Yeah, probably Red, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Well, I've been here once before, and well, I suppose I could lead you to some of the shops. I mean, I know there's a scroll place we could maybe go.
Sounds interesting, Tank. Has the captain given us, or has Heidi given us any orders?
So Heidi would have told you, and the captain would have told you as well, that based on what they told you before, you'd remember that. Just quickly read something. Bereft. You know that there's supposedly a shaman living in the hills that may be able to provide you with a charm.
Oh yeah.
That's outside the kind of main kind of place that you'd have to travel a little way outside of there.
And is it us? Are we the shore party?
Yeah, it'd be you and maybe like I think maybe you get grouped up by Heidi and it'd be sort of you three and then maybe like Boearth and a bunch of others and get sort of put in their own group to sort of head off and you get sort of I think you guys would get you'd be able to go and do what you want really while you're here. I think maybe you guys would be tasked with collecting the charms though, maybe going to visit this shaman.
Yeah. Yeah, so Red would say I think probably it's a good idea if we can find some information about this shaman. So somewhere to do with magic, scrollery. Maybe that's a good first port of call. Tank, lead on.
He'll nod. He's gonna stand behind everyone but sort of point because he's like, well, I gotta keep an eye on all of you, so you go in front and I'll watch and I'll point.
I've got such a #1 security detail vibe.
Yeah, it does feel like that, doesn't it?
Tank, can you look out for someone for me?
Well, who are you looking for, little one?
My brother. He's trying to hunt me down. So he looks like me, but a man.
It looks like you, man, wrinkles, an eye patch.
Yeah, he doesn't
Does he
have
wear
an
the
eye
same
patch.
sort of dirty rags, dirty hair?
No, he wears a claret robe, and yeah, but he's my size.
All right, I'll keep an eye out. I've not seen him yet. He looks around.
Thanks, Tank. And if we get him, we can
All right,
beat
well.
the shit out.
Oh, I will. I'll chuck him in the water, and well, I'll drown him if you want. It's a pretty easy way to go.
What? Maybe you could just waterboard him.
Oh, well, if you want to have a little fun.
You can do whatever you want to him, Tank.
Well, all right. Well, first of all, then,
No killing.
no killing. Oh, damn. All right. Makes it a little bit harder, but doable.
I trust you have the skills.
Oh, sometimes my skills are a little bit too good,
What about, man?
All right, step one, that way.
All right, Tank.
So where are you guys heading?
Okay,
the
scrollery, right?
The Scrollery. So you would remember, Tank, based off your previous times visiting here, that the Scrollery is a place called the Book Nook. It's kind of down some of the. This place isn't very big, but it's kind of quite built up where in this particular post, it's just not very far expanding. So you sort of be able to sort of head down, sort of like a sort of a backer alley sort of thing, sort of in the behind the thing. You know that just based on being here, you can tell that it's very warm and balmy, especially like early in the morning, and the whole port like just smells of like fresh rain. And like as you get off the thing, you definitely get some like sort of looks and uncomfortable kind of watches from some of the locals who seem to be like quite. You definitely get the impression this is based on the fact you've been here, it's not a particularly big outpost. It's probably less than 1,000 people.
Tank has got his arms crossed and he's going to stare back at anyone that's staring at him.
Yeah, they're definitely not going to mess with you or be particularly willing to fuck with you sort of thing.
So it's like a little post carved out of the jungle kind of thing.
Pretty much, yeah, like on the shore.
Ooh. That chimes with Red, so she's looking around with quite sort of bright eye, casting about the place. But she wouldn't say so.
So you slowly make your way across the island and eventually across this post, sorry, and find yourselves at arriving at the Book Nook, this small little scrollery. And as you head in, there's just like, it's a tiny little shop that's kind of like almost like built into the wall, where there's like a much taller building that seems to be used as like sort of a central point of government here.
How tiny is it?
It's so small that like Tank almost would struggle to fit in through the door.
I was literally about to ask, can I fit my fat shell in there?
Oh, it'd be a bit of a struggle. You can try and make a dexterity check to see if you can fit through the door if you want.
He looks at the door and he's like, I'll wait outside, I'll keep an eye. You watch for anything shifty.
Alright, Tank, we won't be long. And Red heads inside. As they pass the government building, does it have like a sign on it, or are there guards outside?
There would be like a local militia, you get the impression, but it doesn't look like the Clovis Concord really have any presence here.
Yeah.
They're definitely not wearing, you definitely would not recognise any like shore wardens or anything like that. It just seems like, yeah, very basic.
Cool. Yeah, she'd head inside the Book Nook.
So you see this like sort of middle-aged female gnome who's like, you go in and immediately there's sort of like books and scrolls and everything like piled to sort of almost sort of 10 feet high in this tiny little shop that's probably only about sort of 10 feet by 10 feet altogether. But it's quite tall. It's probably like the actual height of it is probably, like 20 feet tall, and there's like ladders, like multiple ladders throughout this very tiny shop. And currently she's like halfway up one of the ladders and has kind of got this like monocle and is just, like looking over one of the scroll, and then sort of like has not even paid attention to you at all.
Yeah, she looks around, kind of nods to Alfwin and just says, "Have a proper look around. I'll talk to." Nods up to the person on the ladder and calls out, "Good day."
Wait, it's a bookshop, right?
Scrolls, I think.
Yeah, it's like scrolls, and it's got also some books in there as well.
Oh, she'd be like, okay. And she'd just start like looking at random scrolls and being like, and putting them back in.
Quickly read something. Yeah, she kind of looks down at you and is like, "Hello? What do you want?"
Well, we're potentially interested in purchasing some wares, but mostly we're looking for someone who's got their finger on the pulse of magical doings around here. We heard there's a shaman on this isle.
Oh, Grimalda!
I put my notebook back up. Right, Grimalda.
Right,
Do you know how
weirdo.
Okay. Do you know how we might find her?
It's gonna cost you. I don't give info for free round here.
Red gives a quite... what would be a good word? I can imagine it in my head so clearly. The like, okay, kind of smile, and holds out 3 gold pieces.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, she lives out, about a mile from the harbour.
In a
Out
particular direction.
east. She's like pointing that way. Like leans out the front door and kind of like leans her head out the door and aiming that way. She's like, "That way!"
Appreciated. You do scrolls here, right?
Yeah, I got a few.
Anything to do with breathing underwater?
Nothing like that here. Grimalda might have some charms or something. I don't know where this voice is going.
I love it. Well,
I got lots of scrolls though. I got magic missile. You could shoot missiles at your finger. Pow! Or I got. You might need a shield. There's shield get up. Or I got a guiding bolt. Or thunder wave.
well, that's
What's a thunder wave do?
Oh, let me show you. She kind of gets down from the thing and like sort of stands in the middle of the shop, and she just like slams her hands together and poof, suddenly like all the scrolls start falling down. She's like, "It's like that."
Hank sticks his head in. Whoa, what's going on in there?
Red holds a hand up. So good, Tank. This lady's got a colourful attitude to advertising.
All right, you make sure you call me if you need me in there. I can break through this door, no worries.
Hey, he's just
the thunder wave.
50 gold.
Wait. Oh, come on.
Your friend's just like Grimalda. One of them turtle folk.
Ah, good to know. He'll be pleased to hear.
Another weirdo.
Yeah. Alpha and be like, I'll give you 35 gold for it.
Do me a persuasion check.
It's not even a spellcaster, but she thinks it's cool. Persuasion, you say?
Yes, please.
Is it not rolling? Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
12.
She's like, full price or get out.
I guess I'll get out.
Yeah, you
I
better.
can't. How do you do it? Do you just have to, like, read it?
Yeah, you read the scroll and then you say the magic words and pow!
Is that it?
Yeah.
Kind of looks at Red. Is it worth it?
Of course it's worth it.
It depends, Alphen. It's a one use only, but it could get you out of a tight bind. I can't tell you how to spend your coin, but I will say that the life on a
Someone
ship,
closed in on me?
yeah, could knock them back.
I mean, Tank can fuck him up more, right?
He's real good at it, I can tell you that for sure.
She looks at the lady. Fine. And, like, slams down the 50 gold pieces in a little baggie.
Yeah, that's right. Found a way for you. You're gonna be smashing things and you're propelling all over the place.
No. Magic's cool.
Yeah, damn straight it's cool. That's why I opened this scrollery. Shame it's in the middle of this shithole.
She just looks up at Red with a genuine smile.
Oh, instantly won over. Red says to the lady, "Did it come with a case?"
5 gold pieces.
But she just paid 50 for a scroll.
That's for the scroll itself. There's nothing to store in it. I didn't say nothing about storing it.
I can just keep it down here. And she, like, puts them in the back of her trousers.
See, she's fine. Why are you pressuring her?
Ain't pressuring
Nice and
nothing.
snug down there.
Alright. Bye. Red walks out.
See you later. Yeah, she like waves goodbye and you head back out into the street with your new scroll of Thunderwave.
You'll be excited to hear, Tank. We're gonna go. This shaman we're meeting is a turtle.
Well, I just hope she ain't nothing like my mother.
You're not a fan of old Mama Tank?
No, I love my mama, but she could be a little bit protective, you know, one of them.
Speaking of which, she would have messaged you every night on your way here with the sending spell, checking in on her little Tonka.
Mommy. Yeah, he would have tried to avoid telling her everything at once.
Yeah.
Actually, he would have mentioned that Hank died though. Sadly.
Yeah, she would have been very upset at that actually.
Yeah, she probably couldn't reply till the next day. But you know.
I love the thought of that back and forth being 25 words or less, and how inefficient they'd be with those words.
Yeah.
Every message starts with, "Oh my wonderful little Tonka." 5 words done already.
Pretty damn accurate.
Right, Tank, we've got. What did you say the other place was here? The other main shop?
You'd know, Tank, that there's a general goods store called the Fantastic Ship. There's a smithy called Orgalore. And there's an apothecary shop called the Watchful Vat.
He would mention that. He would probably get the name. name roll. One of them's the fantastical shit. Don't know about and the other two. Can't remember the names, but one of them's a smithy.
Right. Well, I think we're fine. We got a job to do, and in my experience, keeping the captain waiting's bad for the health. She said that this shaman's called Grimolda, a turtle, and about a mile east out of Zaft Post. So it shouldn't take us long. A mile's not far, but I don't know how you two feel about traipsing through the jungle.
That's right. It's just a bit usually a bit grassy, but it's fine.
Wet.
Wet, grassy, hot. I like it.
Secluded, and no one will find us there.
That's true.
All right. Well, we'll take turn. Alfwin, what? She kind of looks about Alfwin's person. Is there an obvious weapon on display?
I think she'd have a short sword on her side, and you
Yep.
would have seen her when she was talking about taking people's eyes out, waving around a dagger.
Okay. She'd be like, maybe Tank and I can take turns. Often in the jungle, you gotta break your own path through. Tank, I think you could probably just walk straight forward, but I can
Can we just,
break some branches as needed. Holds up the mace.
You could just burn it down.
You just said it was wet.
So?
Fire and water don't mix well.
Just looks up at her.
Straight in the eye.
Blank
One eye
eyes.
to one eye. Right. Well, we need Grimelda, so let's keep the fire on the back burner for now.
Oh.
But she pointed this way. Let's go.
The tank's going behind for now. Till we get to the foresty.
Yeah, Red heads
Alfwin.
towards the east end of the post.
As they're walking towards or through the jungle, Alpha would be like, Red?
Yeah?
Are we in tank pirates now or some shit?
What did did she say explicitly?
She did. She did say it once you were like part of the that meeting. She was like, "Your last chance to leave," sort of thing. And then once you agreed to stay, she was like, "You're part of the revelry with whatever consequences that comes with."
Yeah. Not just any pirates, Alfwin. You're part of the revelry. The most feared, respected, and successful pirate element in all of Exandria.
Apparently with the most corn as well.
Go on, Anna.
Oh, that's alright. I said my bit.
Plenty of coin. Aye.
Does that
Is
mean
that
me and Tank need some sort of gimmick?
You definitely could have one. Sometimes it's good to have your name around. She kind of flicks the down side of her hair. She wears it braided on one side, but down on the other. Having the red hairs. Well, let's just say piracy's got a pretty rapid turnaround of staff. So, a good captain who manages to stay alive can quickly lose track of names of people coming aboard and getting themselves killed. So, yeah, having a nickname, I mean, Tank kind of takes care of itself. You're not really easy to forget, Tank.
Oh, what you mean? Tank's my real name, I think. I don't think I told you my... maybe I did.
Told me what?
Don't worry now.
All
Don't
right.
you worry your pretty red head.
Well, you could shorten it further, I suppose. You could be T.
I think Tank's fine. I think it comes over from my current and old days. Security.
It fits well. Alfwin, on the other hand, yeah, I think maybe you do need a bit of a gimmick, Alfwin.
I had an idea.
Shoot.
She moved her eye patch to the other side, and she's like, "What about no eyes?"
Red breaks up with laughter. I love it. I think you could be the most notorious, short-lived pirate that ever sailed the seas.
Tank kind of waves a hand in front of her face.
You won't see my punches coming.
I heard what some of the other crew was saying about you, Tank. That you you killed 4 of them sea devils.
Oh, I did. Quite exciting, and much more than I had in a whole month, to be honest. Kind of a bit of energy pent up inside.
Feels like you could live more than you won't be short-lived as a pirate, and you can swim.
Well,
I can't.
mean, I can swim and hold my breath a bit, but I can't no swim no better than anyone else. Well, maybe except I don't know, fish without fins.
She's like, I don't think no eyes will work though. And she moves the eye patch back.
No, you could be a patch or a one eye socket. You're kind of small, and you like your blades. You could be short blade, Alfwin.
What about Shank?
That's pretty great. Tank and Shank.
Feel that's a bit derivative of another character.
Imagine if Hank was still around.
As you're walking, along sort of the eastern path and sort of heading out of the main trading post, as you get to the edge, you sort of see this small little goblin fellow who's got a sort of set up a stall of sort of various knickknacks and goods, and he kind of as he's you see he's sort of maybe sort of a bit glazed over, and as he's sort of lost in thought, suddenly he notices you, and he's like, oh, he kind of he kind of gets himself up, and he starts sort of moves in the way to block the path, and kind of stands there sort of with his hand on his hip and leaning in. He's like hello.
Oh, watch out now. Hellos are not normally good on the streets.
On the what? The street? Oh, the streets.
Right, we're pirates, right?
Yeah.
You probably shouldn't go shouting that about.
We meant to take his money.
You look like tourists. You've been to Vizaftar before?
No.
Tank here has.
You've been to where? Sorry, you're lagging out a bit.
Bizaftar.
Oh, here? Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we are.
Yeah, I've been here once before. Kind of a fun time and a not so fun time for some other people.
Oh, what brings you here?
Well,
He sort of looks at Red.
I'll think some magic.
Yeah, we're here.
Oh, I got lots of magic stuff for sale. Lots of magic stuff, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah, really.
Like what?
Well, roll a D100 for me.
Okie dokie.
6. Well, I've got this lucky 4-leaf clover that will bring you special luck.
Oh, how much do you want for it?
2 silver.
How's it work?
You just grasp it real tight and it'll make you feel so lucky.
It doesn't seem very magic-y. I just bought a scroll that can make people blow up.
Oh, this is way better than a scroll. It's like really make you lucky, like.
This one you have to say words.
You don't have to say any words. It'll just make you feel so lucky that you'll be be getting luck out, yeah.
Kind of looks up at Tank and Red and is like, seems a bit too easy. Like he's lying.
Just another little street rat, I reckon.
I know street rat. What are you saying? It's so horrible.
Are you lying to us?
No, I'd never lie.
Insight check. 12.
Yeah, insight.
Yeah, for Rita roll insight checks. He's definitely lying about everything. Yeah.
It's usually better to ignore the street rats.
I got lots of good things. If you want a rat from the street, I can sell you that.
Oh, watch your pockets as you walk by, guys.
Alphen will get out her dagger and be like, if you get in our way, I'll cut out your eyeball. And then I'll sell it on the street.
Do an intimidation check for me.
Set it on the street.
Oh.
All right, all right, just don't mess with me. I'm just trying to make some coin.
They usually, sometimes the street rats got a little bit of information if we need any, but,
What's your name?
you don't need all names, do you, little girl?
I need your names.
There you go. What for?
I don't know. I just
What
trying
exactly?
I'm trying to be polite.
Well, I don't want to know your name.
My name's Stubbugs.
I said I didn't want to know.
Now you know.
Can you tell us anything about Grimelda?
Who?
Gee. Well, see you later, Starbucks. And Red starts heading on her way.
Wait, I got this flesh floating in this pickle juice. It's. As you walk away, he's just like he's holding this glass jar off and being like, "It's magical."
I just want to do an ability check to see if Alphen is interested in that. No, she is not.
Okay.
If it was the other one, she would be.
So you can, as you pass through.
Hold on. Yeah, roll a 6. Red, not doing a good job of being a pirate. Leaves a gold coin behind her. She wanted to stealthily, flick it behind her so that the goblin could see. But I rolled a 6 on my sleight of hand. So I think she probably, fumbles it out of her pocket.
The little goblin runs up and is like, and starts like chewing on the gold. And then runs behind the store.
Oh, you'll only encourage them, but sometimes it does get them off your back.
Yeah, Red blushes a little bit. Color of her hair. Just like, come on.
Before you know it, the goblin has started like grabbing its stuff and is starting to follow you.
Oh no.
You got lots of gold. I bet you got more where that came from. I got lots of stuff I could bring you, I promise.
Hank just like blankly turns around. He's like,
If you take one more step behind me, you're so irritating. It's gonna get a big punch in the face, and I can't guarantee it'll be a nice outcome for you.
Do me intimidation check with advantage. Yeah, he's like, I'm fine, just wanted to be your friends. And he runs off. And they like cheese on the coin some more.
Alright, let's get going. I'm so God. Little goblins, they remind me of the bad days, you know.
So you slowly make your way away from this awful little goblin, and then you find yourselves on the edge of the village, where much of it turns into civilization, quickly turns into jungle. Whoever's leading the way, can I please have a survival check?
Alright, everybody, be careful. I heard there's something called yellow fever hangs about in the forest, you know. Be careful. I don't know what it is,
Well-
but
Well, this periapt, I can't catch anything. But maybe I should catch it. Just so I can spread it later to my enemies and my brother.
Can someone roll me a d20, please?
I'm not sure that's what the person who gave you the periapt had in mind. When that you'd use it to store up all the diseases you can, turn yourself into a walking time bomb.
I should have thought about that before they gave it to me. I'm a pirate now.
Maybe that should be part of your name. What's
The
Pox?
Alfwin the Poxwalker.
Pretty great.
So you slowly start making your way into the jungle, where the path quickly comes to a short end, and you find yourself sort of just having to make your own way through, just guiding the fact on where the trees split from just more of a natural path thing, and you can, like, it's the feeling under your feet is quite squelchy. It's very hot, humid. There's lots of little bugs flying around, and you can really get this sort of scent of like thick, like hot earth, like just really getting pungent in your in the back of your nostrils, and even just the heat and sweat now is really building up as you sort of make your way about an hour eastward, until eventually, without too many complications, you find yourself, the sort of natural path eventually kind of widens open, and you find yourselves at like quite a large opening that's got like that's sort of like a little bit of farmland, sort of there. You see like a number of sort of small farm kind of creatures, like there's like a cow and some chickens and a pig, and there's like a small hut in the middle which has some kind of smoke coming off the top of it. The hut itself seems to be made out of like clay, very much sort of designed, maybe you think, to sort of keep the heat from not sort of trapping within inside.
Mm-hmm.
I
Well.
think
Yeah, go ahead.
as they're walking through the swamp, Alfwin would have been thinking about pirate names. And by the time when they get to this hut, she'd be like, "I know what I want to be called now."
I'm all ears.
And it's, dysentery because it's related to dirty water, and it's a flu. Well, it's bad. So maybe you can call me. Wait, Lady Die, because you die, and dysentery, and it all fits together.
Right. It is.
Yeah. She looks happy now.
Perfect.
Right.
And it's a jubilee.
Yeah. Red says to the two of them, "Alright, remember we're here for charms, and I'd prefer if we could come away with a clean trade of sorts, but Captain needs these charms, and whatever happens, we gotta get them."
Well, you know what? Give me a little signal, and I'll, He cracks his knuckles really loudly.
Maybe we should send Tank in there, and then he breaks the place up, and then we come in and we steal it. We're pirates now. Isn't that what pirates do?
I mean, it's usually easier when you at least ask them and threaten them first,
We also,
yeah, that's a good point.
This lady might have some powerful magics behind her. It's usually a good idea to think if we're coming to someone for something, it means we can't do the something ourselves, which might mean they're more capable than we are in some capacity.
I'm not used to being a pirate. I'm normally a good girl. I'm not normally Lady Di. I'm just trying to embrace the character,
Within a few days, you've managed to get your terrifying pirate nickname down. That's something.
Yeah, and those decks have never looked as shiny as when I finished with them.
That's true, actually. Yeah, it kind of weirded me out. I didn't think wood could shine like that. Did a great job.
Secrets, you gotta use your butt.
Okay. Right. If
boss, get in there, work your magic words, and if they don't work, you call me in.
Yeah, Red's gonna knock on the door.
I'll be back up.
So you knock on this door, and it's like really like the building is like almost like a dome, like almost like a Mos Eisley style sort of domed house, and the little door is like a bit of sort of it's not even a door really, it's like just a set of like hanging curtains.
Mm-hmm.
But you could like knock on the clay itself next to it.
Yeah, I think Red would like I think actually she'd have a shield and mace out, and she'd actually knock the mace against the shield.
Like
hello.
After a few moments, you sort of see this little, like, between the curtains, which are currently pulled closed, just suddenly, like, this head just kind of pokes out and kind of extends slightly forward. And you see this, like, old turtle head with, like, big, bushy grey eyebrows, kind of, like grey dreadlocks kind of, like, running down the front of her face. And she kind of just sort of, like, tilts her head back and forth and just says, "Oh, hello. What brings you out to Grimolder's hut all the way out here?"
Well, I'll cut straight to it. And she kind of like wipes the sweat off her brow, wearing fucking chainmail in the jungle. We heard that, we hope that you might have some charms or access to some magic that'll allow few of us to breathe underwater.
And why might you be wanting to breathe underwater, little girl?
We we're interested in finding something that's important to us.
Well, come on in. I got some tea on the arbor. The auger, sorry.
Red sizes up the entrance. Does it look like Tank could fit in?
Yeah, definitely. It's quite big.
Let's go, guys. She heads in.
Tea? That's what posh people drink.
You ever had it before?
We only have salute. Tea's what the bigwigs have.
The loot.
I
Made
thought
out of
you
that.
won the lottery.
Um,
Not had tea.
Oh yeah, but you know, I'm culturally poor, not actually poor, and all my money went down the house. So yeah.
Perhaps
Well,
from
I
that 50
see.
gold.
Well, yeah.
Now come on in and take a seat. And you go inside, and it's just sort of it's the little pathway that extends out into the and then goes around into the domed shape, and you see at the back there's this big is it an Arga, the thing Luke has? I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, it's one of them at the back, and she's currently got like it down, and she pulls it up, and there's a little sort of kettle underneath, and she sort of pulls that up, and there's it's like a she got some like wooden cups that she sort of puts on there and starts sort of like pouring and sort of sprinkling some tea leaves in the top, and there's you can see there's like a big like mosaic kind of circular rug in the center. There's lots of beads hanging from the ceiling. There's like almost like a rocking chair and like and a sofa and some other sort of armchairs in each corner. They all look like very sort of wooden and kind of like quite beaten up, and as if they've maybe been like collected secondhand from people who didn't want them, sort of thing. There's lots of little like there's like almost like a collection of what looks like an ant farm in one sort of side of the building, and then there's lots of little like looks like a almost like homegrown vegetables and stuff that she's like making inside, and like herbs and things like that.
It's very much like my mother's house. She's got her own garden.
Oh, it's nice to see another turtle around these parts. You don't get too often of a turtle. What's your name, boy? Youngling. Shellin.
My name's Hank. Tank. But I had
Hank Tank.
Tank, but you know, my boy Hank, you know, he's gone. But well, anyway, my thanks for the tea.
I have to warn you, this tea's awful strong.
Well, nothing. I'm not too unfamiliar with them. My mom likes it strong as well.
Oh, that makes sense. Us turtles all like it a bit stronger than the rest of these folk. Please take a seat, each of you, and I'll get you a cup. Would you each like a cup? Sorry.
Well, me.
Do you have any salute?
I don't quite rightly know what that is, little girl.
Yeah, it's just poor people tea.
I'm afraid I just got my own brew, my own fine creation I made myself.
You come, you a witch lady?
Well, that's quite a rude thing to say to someone, isn't it? They invited you into your house and you called them a witch.
I thought it was cool.
Well, I do know a spell or two.
You see Tank lean over to Red and he's like,
We gotta have a plan B. I don't think I can punch this lady. Just too motherly, you know. I'd have an issue.
Red would raise her hand and be like, Tank, it's all going swimmingly, and I don't see any need for talk of violence here at this wonderful lady's table. It's a beautiful place you have here, ma'am.
Oh, why, very fine, thank you. That's very kind. And what was your name, young girl?
I just go by Red, if that's all right.
Red, my name is Grimalda, but you already knew that. And your name is Hank Tank, and what is your name, little young'un? Looking at you,
My
Alpha.
name's Lady Di.
Ah, Lady Di. That's a lovely name.
It's my pirate name. I'm normally good, but you know.
Oh, you're pirates, are you? I met a pirate once. A tabaxi lady. She was awful pretty.
You, remember anything about her?
Well, she had gray and black spots and emerald-colored eyes. Oh, and she always wore these 3 different colored earrings in her ear.
I guess we haven't heard of her.
How did you spend much time with her? Red's looking around suspiciously now.
Oh, well, she was awful kind to me, and she helped my son out.
What was wrong with him?
Oh, he likes to get in awful kinds of trouble. You know what young boys are like.
They're like Tank.
Oh, you get along with my mother. She'd agree with you.
Well, you gotta be kind to your mother and not get in trouble then, young man.
Oh, I do my best. She does give me a little earful quite often, you know.
And rightly so, I do say. You don't want to end up like my son.
What happened to him?
He got in one too many fights, and you know what happens to them boys. Sometimes they just get caught up, and then they, sometimes, yeah, unfortunately, he got lost at sea.
Sorry.
My
for
dad
your loss.
died at sea.
I'm sorry to hear that, young lady.
My mum wasn't.
But your kind, that kind tabaxi she bought me, she recovered some of his belongings for me from old Port Damali. That's where he was staying.
The tumble downs?
I haven't been there myself, dear, so I don't quite rightly know, but quite possibly.
Your hut's much nicer than there anyway.
Well, thank you very much, and please drink up your tea, each of you.
Okay.
Do each of you drink up on the tea?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Can each of
It's a bit suspicious. She's holding the tea cup or whatever the vessel is in one hand, and she's close to drinking it. So she said 3 earrings, right?
She didn't say a name, but she just she said she said she was wearing 3 earrings. So
Red would say, "We just so happen to be from the Tabaxi's crew," and she's watching the lady for a response.
Oh, how lovely. Well, I owe her a favor, so I suppose that if you're from our crew and you can promise me that you're not lying to me. Do a persuasion check, Red, with advantage.
Red would show her the symbol on her shield as well.
Yeah, definitely with advantage then. Well, I do recognize that symbol now you say, and, well, you seem like awful nice folks, so, I suppose I could offer up one of my charms, no charge or anything. You're looking to dive into the water, and she kind of goes to reach, she goes and like goes over the top of the ant farm that she's got in the corner, and that just reaches in, and all these little ants like start crawling all over her things, and she sort of reaches in, and then at the bottom she pulls out this like little egg, and it's about the size of like a bird egg, though.
Mm-hmm.
And then she kind of like places it on in her hand, and then sort of passes it over to you.
Thank you, kindly.
Like some of the ants kind of like crawl over the egg and onto your sort of arm and stuff as she passes it over.
Red grimaces a little bit and puts it on the table. And then
when you feel it, Red, it kind of feels like there's something inside it. Like rattling.
She puts it down at first, and she raises the cup towards Grimolder and says, "Thank you for your hospitality. This is quite a blessing. I'm very grateful for it." And she uses that as the verbal components, as her other hand is on her holy symbol in her pocket, to cast resistance on herself because she's still suspicious.
Okay.
This old lady
anyone,
that drinks the tea.
Anyone who drinks the tea, can you please roll a Constitution saving throw for me?
With an extra D4 for me. You idiots!
Can both Kieran and Hannah please roll me a D100?
God. I've not rolled well with Alpha, but it's been funny.
And then can Tank, can you roll a D6 for me?
Great.
And then 61. So, Tank, you suddenly sort of sit down in the chair, and then you just sort of go, and you like uncontrollably start laughing, and then Alfwin, like suddenly you sort of look down at your hands, and just like your hand, like on the top of your thumb, like grows another little hand, and then on top of your finger goes another little hand, and another little hand, and another little hand, and they just start waving at you. And Red, you just look down at Alpha, and he's just looking at her fingers like intensely, and just like moving her fingers back and forth, like right next to her face, just like really intently looking, while like Tank is just sitting there, just like chuckling uncontrollably to himself.
Yeah,
I think Alfwin would use her other hand to wave back. And then she'd also look over at Tank and be like, I think I gave you the cackle fever, Tank. You're gonna die.
Red tenses up but doesn't stand up yet. Looks at Grimolder and just says, "What was in that tea?"
Well, I warned you, it was awful strong, like. Some folk, they sometimes get a little hallucination or something, but it usually passes in a few minutes. I wouldn't worry, it's nothing permanent.
Well, they seem to be enjoying themselves, fair enough.
Hank
Kind of eases
sit-
back in the chair.
Hank sitting in the chair, sort of rolls back laughing. The chair like collapses under his big fat shell.
I apologize. He'll fix it.
That's
And Red
all
goes
right.
back to looking at the egg and like looks at Grimolder. Should I break it open?
That you should, girl.
She cracks it on the table.
And inside there's like a little wooden kind of like totem.
Mm-hmm.
And she just leans over and she says, when you're ready, you rub this little fella, and he'll give you the ability to make sure that you and all your friends can breathe under the waves. And this charm basically allows you to cast a water breathing spell, Tom.
Amazing.
Cool.
Nice.
It only works once.
Okay.
Good. But still cool.
Well, damn. That's impressive. I know you said you owed 3 earrings a favor, but Seems I got a little bit of time, at least waiting for my companions to come back to themselves. And she watches Tank rolling around on the floor, and and Lady Di waving at her own hand.
Yeah, she'd just be wrestling with her own hand, like trying to make it stop.
Is there
Yeah.
anything I could do for you or answer for you in the meantime?
I can't rightly think of anything, dear. You just brought an old woman some company for today, but make sure on your way out you say a little pet to my cow and my pig and my chickens. They love a bit of interaction.
I'll do that, thank you. It is a wonderful place you have here. It takes some gumption to set yourself up in the wilds.
Well, I like my privacy, and I take my precautions from any of the dangers of the wilds. But you make sure once you step outside these perimeters that you be awful careful. There's some nasty creatures out there.
I'll do that, ma'am. Thank you. We will likely just head straight back, to be honest. 3 earrings is, I'm sure you can remember, quite a flighty lady, and we don't want her to become impatient.
Well, it certainly seems that way, from what I remember, but well, it's lovely to see you and meet you all, and I hope your friends here enjoy the tea. If you'd like to take some with you, you're more than welcome to.
Oh, certainly, that would be much appreciated.
Alfwin will be trying to eat her hand at the moment.
Is she like actually biting down, drawing blood, or it's just like chewing on her hand?
She's trying to bite where she thinks it is.
Right. So she's not
Above her hand.
Yeah, Red will only intervene if she thinks she's gonna do herself any harm.
Yeah, and after about 5 or 6 minutes, the effects sort of the tea start to die down.
Yeah. It sort of slowly stops laughing, sort of still on the floor. He's just on his belly
Chair around
now.
him.
Bits of chair everywhere, probably table by now as well. Oh God, oh God. I'll never live so well, God. That's all he says.
I hope you're good at fixing chairs, Tank.
Well, no, I usually break things. Fixing things is another matter. Not usually done by me.
How do you make all these little hands appear? She looks at Grimilda.
I warned you the tea was strong, and sometimes some folk can't quite handle it.
Well, look how small I am. And she like, oh. And she looks like ragged as well. Not built for tea.
Oh
Well.
man, I need to sit down.
You won't be taking another of this poor lady's chairs, Tank. Come on, we gotta move.
God, my jaw it needs a rest.
Sounds like a good idea. Thank you, ma'am. If you're offering, I will happily take a small pouch of the tea.
Of course, and she passes over like a small cup and some herbs in a separate little pouch.
And it is a customized.
Alfwin looks around, it's like, did we get what we came for?
Yes, we did. Grimalda has been incredibly hospitable and kind to us, and we should all thank her. Red turns to her and does like a little bow of the head. Thank you, ma'am.
You're most welcome, dears.
Thanks, Mother.
Alfwin looks a
I
little
mean,
salute her dad.
Now,
Yeah, and remember the name. What are we called? Revelry. Is that what pirates do?
Well, she knows, Lady Di. She worked with 3 earrings before.
Well, and
Is that a boss?
I would just warn you folk, you know, I ain't the judging type, but you say that name in the wrong place around here and you'll get yourself in trouble. Not too many folk,
Lady Di?
no, the Revelry, not too many folk, too pleased to hear that name. Strikes fear in their hearts.
Yeah,
Like, secret pirate.
Exactly. But it don't bother me none. You folks seem awful nice, and your captain was awful nice to me too, so...
alright, I'm used to working in a secretive, more place. Maybe we need to teach you, Lady Di.
I've got a lot to learn, Tank.
I think so. Well, let's go. Try not to catch some more yellow fever.
Right, so you heading out of Grimalda's hut and heading back to the trading post?
Yeah, Red gives her an apologetic smile, and like, at least like pulls the bits of the chair together and puts them in a neat little pile. Before
She kind of waves you away and sort of like says it's fine.
I can go get you a big log. You can use that as a chair if you like.
It's no problem, dearie. I can fix it up real easy. Don't you worry yourself. You see, she bends.
Well,
She bends over and starts like casting mending and fixing bits back together. If you're heading back, through the jungle, then I will need you to make a survival check, please.
All of us.
One of you. I don't mind who.
No!
6.
Oh,
Can you roll a d20 for me, please, Tom?
No!
Roll me a d100, please.
Eight. Just 8.
Let's quickly do something.
Something nice.
Always.
Apparently at Primark they have those shirts from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Really want to get one.
The Hellfire Club or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw someone wearing that the other day.
And I've got 2 D&D t-shirts.
Nice. It's the first one, Cheese Ahoy.
Yeah, Cheese Ahoy's the OG bad boy, and the other one is... It's because they're both kind of, they're not on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're roundabout, and I like that.
I've got...
Went in Primark, and they didn't have it.
All my fucking D&D stuff is like gym stuff. Like gym vest stuff, which is the best bit. So I'm just in there like...
that Space Marine one you have? That really stupid one from...
from Jackbox stuff. TKO. Yeah, I've got that. I think I've probably worn that in the gym at some point. Fuck, what does it say? I can't remember what the Space Marine one says. I think it has brother in it, but something like that. Yeah, I've got all my TKO t-shirts. They're my pride and joy. I'm gonna pass those on. My legacy.
And your child's like, I have no idea what this means. And you're like, but that is why you must wear it.
Sometimes the mystery is the joy in itself. Yeah, I love seeing the look on people's faces when I wear my Run D&D shirt. They're just like, oh, Run DMC, that's so cool. Oh no. I'm there like, yeah.
So, as you're heading back through the forest, you get to a point where there's like a small stream that you need to cross to get back on the path where you headed before. Can someone make a perception check for me?
Who's at the front?
Probably Red, I'd imagine, right? With leading the way.
Yep.
The adult of the group.
11.
Let me just quickly do something. Okay, so off in the distance, Red, you hear the sound of what sounds like a baby crying.
Oh god. Does it sound really far away? Is it super faint? Does it sound off in front of us, off to the side?
It sounds like it's about 50 feet away from you,
Oh my god.
but it's like beyond like the brush. It's like there's plenty of brush around here. It's like across the stream and on the other side, like beyond the brush, from what you can tell.
Red would put a hand back and up to signal to the others to stop. Just say, can you hear that, guys?
Can we hear it?
You would be able to if Red points it out. It sounds like a baby crying, from what you can tell.
Sounds like someone's abandoned their baby in the forest. Can't imagine why, apart from the screaming.
Right, let's
I'm sure they just forgot about it.
Maybe.
let's proceed with a little caution. Tank, if you wouldn't mind going in the lead, just head towards that sound.
Will do.
And
You
she's
guys
gonna
go to the front?
cast resistance on Tank.
Tank, can you do a perception check as you get closer? How close are you getting, Tank, to the source of the sound?
He's just striding forward. He's like, baby? Nah, punch a baby.
So how close in feet?
Oh well. At what point in feet can it be visualised? Can
Well,
we
it's
see it past the bush?
about 50 feet away from you, and it's beyond the bush, so you wouldn't be able to see it unless you go all the way around.
So is the bush directly in front of it?
There's a stream in front of you, and there's a central path that heads downwards, which you know heads back towards the in the direction of the trading post. There's lots of trees and underbrush, and the underbrush is.
We'll just go right up to the bush. We're gonna open the bush.
Okay. Are you heading off on your own, or are you heading off? Are you waiting for Red and Alfwin to?
He's not
Red.
waiting for nothing, but
I'll
if they
be
follow him,
following.
that's fine.
Red's staying within 5
Yeah.
feet of Tank behind him.
Okay. In that case, then, can I have all of you do perception checks?
Hey,
So neither Red or Alpha notice. But since you got a natural 20, Tank, can you roll me an insight check?
Mhm.
So Tank, as you get closer to the source of the sound, you start to realise that the baby crying kind of sounds slightly artificial, like it's an imitation. And then as you get closer and closer, suddenly you just hear the sounds of beating wings, and then all these ravens start diving down towards you. I will need you all to roll initiative, and both Alfwin and Red are both surprised.
Okay.
She.
Our second battle. Let's hope it goes better than the first one.
Hopefully. It's against the birds, maybe. We got a chance. Oh, I forgot to press the
Hey.
fucking button. But yeah.
You can
Oh,
re-roll it and change it if you want.
Jesus Christ. And lady died. Gee.
There's too much going for it.
Everyone ready?
Yep.
So the Ravens. These three are going to dive in at Alfwin. She's on her own. Turn this music down a little bit.
Watch out, everyone. They'll steal your rations like those seabirds.
These three are going to dive down at Tank. Actually, this one will dive down at Red, and this one will dive down at Tank. So I'll do 3 attacks on Alfwin. 14 at 8 and a 9.
1 hit.
For 1 piercing damage.
Back off!
The one on you, Red.
Yep.
Gets a 19.
That hits.
1 point of piercing damage.
Roger that.
And then 3 on Tank. 23, 14, and a 19.
2 hit.
2 piercing damage.
Okay.
It's their turn. Alpha, you are surprised. Red, you are surprised. Tank, you are not surprised.
Yeah, I'll start punching some birds. Hang on. Let me figure out my buttons again. Alright, birds. 1.
17 hits.
Dead.
20 hits. You just smack both the first bird out of the sky and the second bird out of the sky. Just instantly just killing them. Is that your
Yep.
turn?
Well, that's it.
This raven, seeing that both its friends are dead, is going to disengage and fly away.
Yeah.
It's got 50 feet of fly. This one here is going to attack Red again. 19 again for another point of piercing damage. And these 3 up here are all going to attack Alfwin. 15, 13, and a 6.
2 hits.
2 points of piercing damage. That is their turn. Alfwin, it's your go.
Can't see Alfwin's head.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, I'll fix that, sorry.
No worries.
Alfred's gonna be like, you little fuckers! And she's gonna use her bonus action to disengage.
Okie doke.
No, wait. She's gonna attack them first.
Okay.
Then after she'll disengage. She'll do her short sword. On one of them.
For natural 1 does miss.
And her dagger.
It does cost a bonus action, I'll remind you, so you wouldn't be able to disengage.
Oh. No, she'll still do it.
Okay, 13 does hit. You do manage to slash one of them out of the sky.
She just drops it on the floor next to her. Just like, dinner!
Is that your turn?
Mm-hmm.
Red, it's your go.
Yeah, Red, I think it's gonna follow suit. Yeah, do an attack with a mace. Hey, yeah.
10 misses, unfortunately.
Yeah, swinging up at the bird.
Quite hard to hit these things.
That's my turn.
Tank, it's your go.
Alright, make way. Go get it.
21 definitely hits. Yeah, boom, another bird smacked out of the sky. Another 15 hits as well.
It's a fucking
Once more, another bird smacked out of the sky.
engine of destruction.
And it's like,
Well, last little bird, you gonna fly?
and it's going to disengage and fly the fuck away.
Yep.
I think with that, we can, unless you're going to try and chase after them.
Alfred wants to at least try and shoot them for a short bow. He's like, you little bitches!
This one is definitely gone. But this, you would have a go, Alfin. It's over here, the last one.
Okay, so try and shoot one for a short bow.
"19 hits. And you shoot that one out of the sky as the arrow pierces through its wing and it crashes into the ground. And with that, combat is.
She's just like, it's my foot! And, gets her composure back.
Well, no. I thought maybe we could take these for dinner, like you said. Well, unless you think they're diseased, you know, yellow fever and all that.
She just taps her periaptive health. She's like, I'm fine either way.
Well, what do you think, Red?
It is strange that they came at us like that. I seen ravens teasing things bigger in them, but not often attacking them.
Do they normally make baby noises?
No, we should go check that out now. Alfwin, if you want to gather them up,
Do a nature check for me, Red.
you go for it.
Yeah, Alfred would collect them up.
I think Reggie would be familiar with the fact that ravens have the ability of mimicry. I think with Tank's natural 20, him discerning that it sounded like a mimicry, the closer you got to the source of the sound, you get the impression that the baby was probably the ravens trying to lure people in.
It's gonna sound strange, but I think it was the ravens that made the baby sound.
Strange, but you say mimicry. Oh, okay.
They're not a baby, though.
What's not a baby?
Point at the ravens.
No, they can copy sounds. Seen it sometimes. There was a old sailor retired to Tosoa, had a couple of pet ravens that he'd trained to steal jewelry off of people, and they talk like him.
Well, where are they getting this baby sound to copy from?
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, you know, ravens taste better than babies anyway.
Oh, you eating babies?
No, but there's just more of them. She like points at them.
Alright, well.
I wouldn't eat a baby, Tank. What do you think I am?
Well, I don't know, you know, it's desperate times and all that.
I wouldn't eat a baby. I'd eat a dog, but not a baby.
Oh, baby dog.
Puppy?
She
Baby
kind of
hound.
looks away. I'd have to think about it.
Alright, let's keep going. Yeah, Red will forward back onto the path.
Yeah, and it doesn't take you long at this point. It's probably only another 10 minutes before you find yourself making the path and arriving back in the training post itself.
Oh, and tell me if this is too much for a retcon, but Red did want to say like a greetings and a blessing to Grimalda's animals on the way out.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, you would have definitely been able to do that. They probably would have like maybe run away slightly. Maybe
Yeah.
not as friendly as she thinks they are. Maybe, or at least not nervous as strangers.
Yeah, as they get back to town, Red would say to Tank and Lady Di, is there anything you want to do before we report back into Captain?
Would there be anyone Tank would be familiar with in the town? Maybe in the tavern?
There probably isn't a proper tavern here, to be honest.
No?
No.
Probably not then. Maybe some back alley gambling?
No, it's pretty small place. There's just like a couple of stores that people have set up, and it's mostly just people going about, you know, the locals that live here.
That's fair.
That's
Just say
a
that.
good store, right?
Yeah, there'd be like a general goods store. There's an apothecary, scrollery that you've been to, obviously. There's a smithy as well.
Nah, it's kind of boring in this town. Ain't got nothing in the back alleys. Nothing really. But, got a nice smithy if you want any armor.
I'm okay until we finish this job. Get the 200 gold pieces. I ain't got much bartering power, so I'm fine to just head back to the captain.
If we're the ones who to get the treasure, how much do you think we get?
Well, it's the captain's treasure, Alfred. We
Yeah,
get the
but
200
she said-
gold.
No, she said the ones who personally got more.
Oh, the bonus. I don't know. At a guess, probably pretty substantial. The captain's well, she doesn't take things lightly.
Well, that and I expect, a salary as well. Security and all that.
Salary ain't really the way we do things on the ship, Tank.
Well, maybe you need some more negotiating then, huh?
You are more than welcome to try. I would be impressed if I saw the captain signing a contract of any kind.
You should try to be a personal bodyguard.
Well, I don't need no contract. It's mostly by word, I'm not that official about things.
All right. Well, let's see how we go. And side note, especially as Red's been going up to the decks at night.
Mm-hmm.
What are the moons looking like?
Moons are currently, Katha is currently like fading, so, and Rudis is is rising to probably be full moon within probably not for a while, because Rudis takes a lot longer than Katha. Probably not for like another month.
Okay, cool.
You've probably got do a quick survival check for me, see how long you think Katha. You know Rudis is going to take ages, but Katha, you're not 100% sure.
9.
You think anywhere from a week to a month, you're not sure.
Okay. Cool. Let's head back to the ship then.
Alright.
So as you head back into the trading post, you pass the goblin who tries to call out to you to sell you more things on the way, but soon gives up as you're...
Wait.
Oh, go ahead.
Alfwin would be like, do you think we should try and make that guy a pirate too? He doesn't seem to have much to live for.
Well, is it our place to be offering piratemanship?
She looks at Red.
You could raise it with the captain between Tank asking about contracts and salaries and you trying to recruit the local go-getters. I think it'll be quite a fruitful conversation.
She would say to the little goblin, like, you should come with us.
Where are you going?
Pirate ship.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Better than this dump.
Yeah, look. You seem like you got a brain between your ears, so maybe you should, talk to the captain.
Do a persuasion check for me, Alfred.
So take there it is. Persuasion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you looked at her and she's like,
Well, I'm pretty smart, I suppose. I could be a pirate. And I bet lots of your pirate friends would want to buy all my magic items.
That's why they hired me too. I didn't even have to have an interview.
Oh, great!
he just starts tagging along.
Can't wait to be a pirate with you guys.
He's getting thrown in the edge.
Yep, back to the ship.
Yeah, so you head through the sort of central trading post. You bump into like Boearth and some of the other people who have come from the general goods store and have got themselves a bit and come from the smithy. And Boearth like looks up to you, Red. He's like, "Got myself a new scimitar," and he's like showing off and doing like a like waving it about really kind of amateurishly. But you make your way back to the Wave Chaser, reboarding it after being here for probably about 4 or 5 hours now, so it's probably looking at sort of mid to late afternoon. And you board the ship ready to go on the next step of your adventure as you look to head back to Palmaflora to dive into the depths to recover this item from the Sea Devils. And with that, we will end today's session here.
Ah.